timeline reaches its Armageddon. What's a kid to do?
I'm not a...
Snag the keys to your mom's experimental ship, of course.
That's not quite how it happened.
Drift aimlessly in the rift between dimensions, trying to figure out how to operate it.
Now hold on a sec.
Pick up a few hitchhikers.
Hi!
Hello.
And maybe solve a disturbing mystery that could lead to the destruction of reality itself.
You know, if there's time...
There's always time.
I'm not so sure about that.
Get in on the adventure with the Rift Riders on Indiegogo.
What a crowd, what a crowd.
What a crowd.
Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing this morning?
Still finding it difficult to watch that guy with the red trousers go down on his knees.
That's what she said.
So to speak.
Ba-da-cha.
Wow. Sorry, that wasn't meant like that.
That's what she said.
There's
I just feel that knee hitting that floor. Sorry about that.
Ah, what a beautiful day. We've got a fun day planned for you guys today. Got a real fun day planned for you. We're going to have some nice today. So my favorite way to cook bacon is this. I cook it up, and right before it's done, I like to mix a little honey and hot sauce and put on that thing, and then let it caramelize real quick. That way I get a nice sweet and spicy bite. Right. And so today we're cooking up some sweet and spicy bacon. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the metamorphosis of the comic book and book publishing industries, how those things are changing around a bit. We're going to be talking about Black Adam and how the critics say that it's terrible, it's bad, but the fans seem to like it, and see if there seems to be a trend that happens with critics versus fans.
Have you not noticed that before?
I've noticed it, yeah.
If a critic says it's no good, go and see it.
Right, exactly. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about those things. We've got Eric Hodson here. He's actually coloring a cover for me right now, as you can see on his screen.
Good morning.
Good morning. And he's going to be talking about American Bliss. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but we are going to talk about the next offering from Dave Brink. And his artist is with us today. So we're going to be talking about that today. So we got a lot planned, a lot going on. So, Nick, how was your week, man?
It's been one of those weeks where I've had like the rotating disaster field around me. You know, where everything breaks there. Still, I'm excited. I got an art piece in an art show up in Crown Point, Indiana, that I got to run up and get dropped off. And then, in typical Nick fashion, that ended up dropping me in this very shady-looking part of town into a tattoo parlor.
Wait, what did you call it?
I'm sorry, I stuttered in the middle. A tattoo parlor.
Oh, I thought you said a tattoo parlor. I thought
I
you
heard-
pronounced
I heard-
tattoo weird.
I heard
Yeah,
tutu.
I stuttered in the middle of it.
Okay.
Actually, a really neat place called Blacklisted Tattoo Lounge in Crown Point, Indiana, and they're having a art show of art that's been inspired by the music of the Wu-Tang Clan. So naturally, someone reached out to me.
Naturally, Nick being the big Wu-Tang fan that he is.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. It's still in my head, man. I heard tutu parlor. That would make the
Oh yeah,
The
I
story
tried
way
to say
better.
Story way
tattoo,
better.
and
Tutu is
my
inspired by the
phenomenal
Wu-Tang.
speaking skills.
Let me just bring this talk to the point. Look at that fantastic drawing there that on Eric's screen. Who does that look like?
Yeah,
Looks a
little
lot
bit
like
Glenn.
Trash Man.
It's a little bit
No?
like Glenn.
Doesn't look anything like Glenn. It looks.
That looks a lot like
Trash
Big
Man.
T.
I
does
thought
that
it was
look?
a portrait of Glenn. Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Who do you think it looks like, Glenn?
I think it looks like a guy called Luke Stone.
I wish I looked like that. That'd be awesome.
I'm talking about the face.
Oh yeah. That'd be awesome if I looked like that.
Is he your self-insert?
Actually, he's not. A lot of people say that. I'd be
I
like, oh,
think
he's
it
your
is.
self-insert.
I think it
And
is.
actually, no. Trashman is everything I'm not, right? So here's the deal with this guy. I wrote this guy to be the dude that always does the right thing, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. Completely selfless. And
You won't be around too long then.
he's what I aspire to be. Right, yeah. But I wrote him as to what I aspire to be. Now, a bit of me are in some of the other characters that are not so selfless. No, yeah, he's not my self-insert at all. He's more of a, if anything, he'd be a self-projection of what I would want to be. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like that. What
Wait,
would
Works.
what would
that's
Trash
the
Man
same.
do? Yeah.
Isn't that just a self-insert? I mean, isn't the self-insert? Rarely are self-inserts accurate.
No.
I mean, very few people are like, "Yes, this is who I am. It's who I want to be."
If there is a self-insert, it would probably be Rev. I mean, we both have had the same occupation. I mean, different outcomes. I could struggle with alcohol. I mean, I know that that's a problem. In my family, runs in my family, I love the taste of alcohol. So I know that could be a problem for me. Yeah.
Well-
a troubled guy, yeah. A lot of
No.
demons to
This
fight,
is
yeah.
interesting because I think Trashman Clarence is who you want to be,
yeah.
and Rev is who you are afraid you are.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. That's kind of the character dynamic in that, a little bit.
It's
of course, with other
impossible
people.
not to put ourselves in our own creation.
Well, you have to
Oh,
put
yeah.
yourself in, or else it doesn't
Exactly.
work.
Dead
Eric's
right,
right.
Eric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to put yourself in, or it doesn't work. Like Bone is who I used to be. Like Bone was that carefree teenager, smart ass. Just that was me. That was kind of me and my friends. Bone is a collection of all of those guys that I hung out with back, 18, 19 years old, 17 years old. That's really who he is. It's that whole friend group just crammed into one person. Chlorine is very much she's got a lot of Beth in her. Serafina has a lot of Corey in her. And parts of Corey that she doesn't even notice. Like it gets real meta with some of these character developments with some of the people that I know, and Danny is actually the only real person. Like he is however he's written on the page, is exactly who he is. If I ever wonder, like, okay, what would Danny say in this situation? I just call him up. I'm like, Danny, so here's the deal. You're talking to Trash Man, and this is happening. And Danny loves the books, by the way. I said, this is happening. What would you tell him? And he would tell me what he would say, and I just write that down. Like, he is the only, like, real person in the whole book. Everybody else is a collection of people that are in my life, or have been in my life, and also a little bit of me, my voice in there. Only a little bit. But I like Mike Barron said a couple weeks ago, I try to disappear. And what I want to do, but in order to write good characters, you have to be able to find your voice in that character.
Right.
You know, so that you can find their voice. Like how you have to go connect with them. And so I can even write like you know, like characters that people wouldn't say, well, how would you know anything about that? Like Ion, for instance, you know, a Haitian woman. How can you write that? Well, I you know, there's these things in her past that all she has left is family, you know, and that family might look different to different people, but all she has left is that.
Don't forget, Luke, in today's world, you could identify as that woman and be that woman for a week and then come back.
Let's see.
Yeah, I could.
Since we have Luke and he's open and I can ambush him, you've led into a great point. How does that reflect to the villains you write? Because you write some pretty diabolical villains, especially with what's coming up that I can't talk about.
Same thing applies.
So it's interesting.
Rascal is me on a different path. Rascal, if I were going to be a villain, Rascal is exactly how I would be. That would be me. Dutiful, efficient, and ruthless. If I were going to be a villain, that's exactly how I would do it. And then Azazel obviously was one of my old bosses.
Is somebody knocking on your door, Luke? To the police?
No. That was my dog.
Now, see, the fun one I have to ask is, what about Body Bag then?
Body
'Cause, I mean,
Bag?
that's twisted.
We don't talk about Body Bag. We don't talk about the serial killer.
We don't talk about the.
No, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with movies, shows, and documentaries about serial killers. I find their mind absolutely fascinating. Like what causes a person to break so badly that is their obsession. You know, like that. It just fascinates. And obviously, I'm not alone in that because there's so many shows, movies, and documentaries about serial killers.
There's all those comics they didn't read, according to Mr. Werner, whatever he was called, Wortham.
Right? Yeah. It could be, yeah. So I mean, it's
because before comics, nobody went around killing people, did they?
Right. And then after
nobody,
comics, video games.
You know, Genghis Khan watched a lot of videos before he went and raised the world, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Well, here's what you don't know about Genghis Khan. Little known fact that time travel was invented.
Oh.
And what they did is they actually introduced Genghis Khan to comic books and video games and saw what it produced. And that's when they decided to destroy the time machines.
Yeah, I mean,
because,
I just think Genghis Khan was
Grand
trying
Theft
to.
Auto isn't Grand, it's Genghis Khan Theft Auto.
I was going to say Grand Theft Auto Mongolia.
Yeah, dude, like Genghis Khan to me, it's just only like a very aggressive tradesman. He just wanted open trade.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. You know, just like.
Do you know? You know what's incredible about?
He was a venture capitalist.
What was incredible about Genghis Khan? I don't really know this. Was that his troops got to Spain before they were the guys behind them caught up with him and said, "Hey, the big guy's dead." And he said, "Well, what do we do?" And they said, "Well, don't know. Better go home." So they went all the way back home. Took them months.
Yeah, dude. Like I was reading on the invasion of Samarkand, and that's where Afghanistan is. And Genghis Khan was the only guy who kicked those guys' asses, like Afghanistan. And dude, he sent emissaries first. The Caliph of Samarkand beheaded them and sent the heads back. Like, we don't want you here. He was like, okay. So he raised Samarkand and beheaded 1.7 million people. in front of another other group he
That's
left
all?
alive.
That's
It's
all.
Yeah,
unfair to Genghis. Send back
Yeah,
ahead.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there was like a river of blood. Like, it was very uncomfortable because of the amount of blood on the floor. Like, people were like up to their calves, half their calves in blood, and it's just like, now we gotta finish this. They have to know that trade is good. So yeah, dude, like, he's like a great advocate for free trade and open market.
Yeah.
Open market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it. The libs are hearing you right now.
I'm taking notes.
We don't.
And
He had
looked
the best
amazingly-
deal. It's a huge
It's
deal.
huge deal. It's amazing.
It's gonna be great, guys.
It's gonna be
Listen
great.
to
You've
me.
never seen a deal
Here's what
like
we're gonna.
this.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take
Okay.
1.7 million of these guys. We're gonna chop off their heads right in front of those guys, and then they're gonna back off, and we're gonna have
You
a
can
great
do
time.
it because when you're rich, you can do it. You can see. I see your heads. I'm just gonna chop them right off, and they let you.
Could you
Heck,
imagine
I'm
that
still
was
voting
his
for that
real
guy.
voice? Could you imagine that was like Genghis Khan's real voice?
Right?
Okay, I
He
don't
sounded like
China.
Trump. Yeah, he sounded like
Destroy
Trump.
it.
So listen, here's what's gonna
I don't
happen,
like China.
guys.
Destroy it.
Better than John Wayne.
You fired.
Gonna say,
That'd be hilarious.
not only that, but from the movie I saw, he looked a lot like John Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked just
That
like
was
John
an
Wayne.
historical account. Genghis Khan looked like.
Well, listen,
Deadly accurate.
Pilgrim.
Trump.
We gotta get this stuff from here to there. We
You know that-
don't
you know
want to
that great-
pay
You know that great
those
story.
people there.
You know that great story about John Wayne and King of Kings, don't you? You heard that story about it? Where,
No,
where-
no.
What's the guy called who played Jesus in that? The good-looking guy who was, I think he was Pike in Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know
That
what
guy.
you mean. but-
That guy. So he's there.
Guy
And
Williams,
John-
right? Guy Williams.
No,
Or something.
Let's
anything.
make
Whatever
Jesus
it's
good
called.
looking, right?
So-
White.
So Jesus is on the cross in that film, King of Kings, and John Wayne was the Russian. Sorry, this slip of the tongue. Was the Roman soldier.
Russians.
No.
The Roman soldier. And,
We're blaming the Russians for the crucifixion now?
Oh my
It's
god.
a
Sweet.
Scottish Scottish accents. Go
And-
on.
That would be like,
It's history.
and he looked
Water.
up. Apparently, in some book I read, it said that the director, whoever that was, Cecil B. DeMille, somebody like that, said John Wayne had one line to deliver. Right, truly, he was the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept doing this take after take after take, and the director said to him apparently, "John, say it with awe." So he went, "Oh, truly, he was the Son of God."
Classic.
Yeah.
dude.
Truly, he was the Son of
Oh,
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Wayne. John Wayne. Okay, here's the deal. John Wayne was not. Okay, here's some spice for you. My dad loved him. John Wayne was not a good actor.
He wasn't a good guy, apparently.
He was a good.
You can take a flying leap at a rolling
Well, he's been.
donut
Here's the
there,
thing.
Luke.
He's being canceled too because of his. Well, he didn't like he didn't like women. It's like no, he liked it well enough. I
If
guess.
John Wayne, if John Wayne,
on that island, yeah.
yeah, if John Wayne is a good actor, then I'm
Hmm.
an astronaut.
No, see,
No, dude,
John
like-
Wayne-
John Wayne is just another one of these characters who he plays himself in every movie, like a Bruce
Yeah.
Willis, like an Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Dustin Hoffman does the same
Yeah,
haircut.
this is
Dustin
it.
Hoffman, doesn't he?
John Wayne is a man's man. He sold that, dude. Like
He did.
He married a Panamanian for a while. And
So-
he
Yeah.
owns an island here called John Wayne Island in Chame. And
John Wayne,
So, so
Yeah,
Mark
they
Mark
call it that.
Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is probably one of the worst actors I've ever seen, but always plays himself. But I love every movie he's in.
he will always be Marky Mark to me.
I always I loved it when he did that first movie, that Rockstar movie.
Mm.
I was like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yes,
Yeah.
love that movie because I was really into
Oh
music
yeah,
back then.
like, what was the
And,
name of the band? Like Steel Dragon or something?
Something like that. Something
Yeah, dude.
like
That
really.
movie was silly, but I loved
yeah,
it.
yeah, I did too. But man, every movie he's in, and he always does that like, dude, what are you doing? Like, huh? Like he has like surprise that voice. He has two voices, and that one is like that. He could be doing a love scene. Baby, I love you. You mean everything to me. Or he could be like, somebody comes in and has just robbed a bank. Hey, did you rob that bank? Like it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like that, like bewildered look. And then he's got the, and then obviously his other voice, but Yeah, so I love Mark Wahlberg. If I ever met him, I'd probably fanboy. Oh, speaking of fanboy, I'm going to Fanboy Expo next month, a couple of weeks, and guess who's going to be there?
Mark Wahlberg.
No, he's not going to be there. Dave
Keanu Reeves.
Foley. No, Keanu's here every week. Keanu is here every week.
Comics are awesome.
Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Right? Okay, yeah, of course you wouldn't know him, Glenn. He's a Canadian.
All right. Like I don't know any Canadians.
He's a Canuck.
I know lots of Canadians.
He's got all the Canadians blocked. So he was in
several times.
he was in a sketch comedy show called Kids in the Hall back in the 90s. And he's also played a few other things out there. But that's really what he's famous for me anyway. He's going to be there. I'm totally going to fanboy over that. I'm like, dude, I've been laughing at you since I was a teenager. Yeah, I can't wait to meet that guy.
Yeah, dude.
If I have time. Hopefully I have time.
The best, favorite Kids in the Hall skit.
Oh, Hitler's effing my donkey.
Nice. My favorite one is Einstein. For some reason, that cracks me up every time. Like the guys like painting, painting the fence. What gave it away? Einstein, and it's like Einstein.
Yeah.
He's Einstein. It's very dumb, but
gave it away, Einstein. Yeah, he's Einstein.
Yeah, see, I think of him from News Radio. That's where he jumps.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
And News Radio was one of those shows that was way better than that had any right to be.
Let's go to the chat real quick. Chat, what? Let us know as I welcome you. Let us know what your favorite Kids in the Hall sketch is. I also like pinching your face and squishing your head. I'm squishing your head. I'm pinching your face. Oh, what happened? That one is already squished.
Yeah.
And then they're like fighting. I love that.
Dude, Canadian Fur Trappers.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, that's.
You'd have to be there, Glenn.
So it's they're back, right? They got a new season of Kids in the Hall, and they're old.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're old now.
The old Kids in the Hall.
Even though, did you enjoy Brain Candy? Because that movie to me was weird. That was a weird movie, man. Yeah.
Welcome, Marv. Nice to have you here. Look who's in the chat. Hadn't been here for a while. Mike, Jimmy, Lordship of Bruin.
Wow.
Nothing but love for Mike
welcome.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Mike, Jimmy.
We got Hojo here.
Wow.
Hey, glorious panel. Bacon hairs.
I've been streaming so much. I heard Mike Jimmy was in the chat, and I went to run his commercial. Honest to God.
I don't have his commercial. No one sends me their commercials. I said, send me your commercial. I'll throw it up there. So we got Hojo here today, and man, a lot of talking back and forth there. We got Eric Hawkins. Welcome, Eric. Nice to have you here today. How was Clarksville Con? Clarksville Con was special. That's how it was. It was special. It was overcrowded. It was underplanned.
Wow.
It was a hard sell day. People did not want to buy. I did make my table feedback and then some. So it was better than Bowling Green.
Yeah.
But it was rough. They had some special guests there. They had Duschenstein.
How was the hall? Was it as big as Bowling Green?
Oh no, it was only 3,000 square feet.
So it was smaller.
This room was rated for about 300 people. They tried to cram about 500-600 people in there. It was crazy.
Oh, dude, that's
100 vendors. I'm telling you, it was nuts.
It's what you call a super spreader event.
Yeah, it was. I was like, okay, let's hand sanitize that thing. I was drinking hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that sounds like a refugee camp, man.
it was close. The border has better accommodations.
Sorry. I only talk about things I'm familiar with. Okay.
Randy, this is like Sunday Funnies, isn't it? We're not talking about what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
We'll get there, guys.
Most podcasts are like that.
Yeah. We spend our time. We're entertaining people right now.
Our goal is to take careful aim at the subject.
Yeah.
And then 90 degrees over here. It keeps the viewers guessing.
Well, it's the curving bullet effect.
Oh yeah.
I assume that eventually we'll get to the target. And we do eventually, because I have it right up here at the top of the screen.
The Kennedy assassination and the wandering flying bullet, the magic bullet. Yeah.
Dude.
From the grassy knoll comes the kill.
Get Glenn started on that. We won't get back to the subject for a good half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge segment.
3 days.
Hojo had to weave in a serial killer for the same reason. Good, so I'm not the only one that is obsessed with serial killer information.
Yeah,
Good.
dude.
There's this new show
girlfriend.
called The
She scares
Patient.
me. Yeah.
New show called The Patient on Hulu
Patient?
with Steve Carell. Watch it. That's all I'm saying. Just watch it.
He's a good one.
Yes.
Steve Carell's a good one.
He
Like,
is, yeah.
There's someone who can act and doesn't get credit for it. Steve
Right.
Carell can act.
Yeah.
That's what his wife said.
That's why he doesn't have a late night talk show.
That's what she said.
Wow.
That's the only Steve Carell clip I've got. So sorry.
No, it works.
It works. Works every time. We got Dave Brink in the house. Welcome, Dave Brink.
Hey,
It works.
hey, congrats, man! Like the campaign looks awesome. And you guys are already funded, so.
Eric says Genghis Khan was a ginger, so he's naturally evil.
No,
That makes
and that's
sense.
slander, sir.
Soul's
You're right.
ginger.
He can't be a ginger. He hasn't been erased yet.
Yeah.
Thought he was erased centuries
They
ago.
were misunderstood.
Genghis had a very weird relationship with his wife. Like she always got kidnapped and came back with another kid, and he's just like, okay, the name is Temujin or whatever. Like
We got Todd from Redshift Comics in the house. What's up, buddy? Nice to have you here today.
Oh, guys,
Uh,
if you want to see Dustin Hoffman in a great movie, and it's an older movie, it's called Little Big Man.
Yeah.
This is an amazing movie. If you can handle this stuff called comedy, but not dumb comedy, like, oh god.
I do believe he got an Academy Award for that, didn't he? For acting.
I mean, I liked him in Papillon.
No,
That was a
he
good
got
movie.
one for Kramer versus Kramer and Rain Man, I think. I didn't,
Yeah.
He didn't get one
that.
for. He must have. Effects must have won an award for that because
I think there were some
they
awards.
aged
I
him.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he got. I think he should have done, but I don't.
Who
think
is
he
this that we're talking about again?
Dustin Hoffman and Little
That's
Big
what I
Man.
thought.
Yeah.
I really like Dustin Hoffman in Meet the Fockers.
did. Yeah.
Oh, he's brilliant. in
Yeah,
this.
he was
Brilliant in
good.
Meet the Fockers.
I'm
Why did he not win anything for Meet the Fockers?
I still like him in Tootsie.
He was pretty good in Tootsie
It
too.
was incredible. I'm going to
Totally
go back
underrated.
to The Graduate, which was one of the neatest movies
too.
ever made. I don't
Yeah.
care
Rain,
what
Rain
that
Man.
Rain Man.
Rain Man was
Man.
great.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about Tom Cruise. I watched this movie. I can't remember what it was, but there's these kids counting cards in Vegas or whatever. These
Yes.
MIT kids.
That's Rain Man, isn't it?
No, this is a different one. This is a different
Oh,
one.
sorry.
So they were, but they were teamed up, but they didn't know. They pretend like they're at the table, like they're not friends or whatever.
Right.
And so he goes, he looks at the guy, and goes, "Hey, you look like that guy from Rain Man, whatever." He goes, "Yeah, I know. People confuse me for Tom Cruise all the time." He goes, "No, that other one, that retarded one."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, he wasn't retarded. He had
He was autistic, right?
he had autism.
I nearly got
autism and
ejected
stuff.
from a Circus casino in Las Vegas for touching the table.
Yeah.
My former partner was playing. What is it when you throw the dice? What's that one called?
Craps.
Yeah, she was playing that and she was winning. Right, she kept winning. She won about $1,000. She just kept
that's a good
winning
haul.
and winning. I know that's not millions, but it's a lot of money, you know.
Oh, I will never turn down
She-
a thousand. Anybody wants to give me $1,000?
She'd never played before. She asked the guy what you did, and they all thought it was great because there's this English girl there, and they all thought it was great. Come on, have a game. And she threw a 7. Oh, beginner's luck. So she's throwing this. Then she has to throw a 5, I think, or something, or something. I don't know how it works. But she kept throwing whatever she was told she had to throw. And at the end of this, she got this $1,000, and they're all getting a bit pissed off. These people getting a bit thinking that she's a shark, pretending, that she can't play.
Yeah.
And I was bored. I thought I was fascinated because I wasn't doing anything. I was just standing there, and and you know how big the tables are. I just put my elbow on it, and they all went berserk. They all went absolute. The security came. I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" I don't know what I don't. Sorry, I'll keep away. But they all thought that I was in on moving the table, and she was a shark. And
yeah.
So we got the money. We got the money, and we left.
They start looking for any excuse.
Oh,
Yeah, they do not like it when you win.
But when you walk into Circus, the neon letters at over the door that tell you things. I always remember it said. And listen to this. I remember as we walk in and the letters went across, it said, "We take $3 million a day We take 3 million, not we pay out, not you win. We take $3 million a day, and you're supposed to go, wow.
At least that's sincere.
No, they're telling, well, at least they're letting you know. And guess
fair.
what? Part of that $3 million is going to be yours.
That's probably low. You probably should have sat there and read the rest of the message.
Right. Well, we're just walking in.
Could have said we take 3,000 or 3 million a day and donate it to charity or something.
If I see that, I'm leaving that casino because that's bullshit.
They donated to the Mafia Retirement Fund.
Yeah.
For
Well, up
hitmen.
where we are, all of the casinos are most all the casinos are native owned, and they take whatever, and they turn that back into the.
Hojo really liked the skit where
They
they
turned that
did
back to the reservation.
the Queen of England was talking about Canadian bacon. That was funny. The Queen of England talking about Canadian bacon.
Yeah, they cross-reference a lot on that show.
Yeah, they really did, and I didn't. Nobody cared. Nobody.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, I was like, who cares if they cross-dress? We don't care.
Yeah.
I like the old biddies in the office that would talk. I like them. They were funny. I also liked Salt in Your Eyes. You guys see that one? Why would my mom say never put salt in my eyes? Never put salt in my eyes.
Used to be a time when cross-dressing was actually funny.
Always put salt in your eyes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now it's a career.
Some like it hot. Monty Python cross-dressed all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one thought anything about it.
Show.
Nobody
You know
thought
when it
anything
started
about
to change? It started to change in the late '80s when Queen did what is
yeah.
the name of the song is escaping me for some reason. I want to break free.
Yeah.
I blame Tom
I want to break
Hanks.
free. That song.
I blame Tom Hanks and Booze and Buddies.
Well, that was around the
That's
same
when it
time.
started to turn.
That was around the same time. See, but here's the thing. So I think it was the drummer that had the idea to let's do the song in drag, right? Yeah. And they had a problem.
Do you know what the song is about? It's not being gay.
No, it's not being gay at all. No, not at all. Like it's not even close to it. He didn't even write the song. Like that wasn't even his song. It was like
John Deacon, the bass player, wrote the song.
Yeah.
He was writing about wanting to get out of Queen.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what the song is about. Wanting to I want to break free. Yeah. So anyway, so there's this great song, right? One of my favorites of theirs. And the video is hilarious. And then you've got Freddie Mercury in drag with his mustache still on, right? Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was going to be funny. And then everyone was like, they started going off on the fact that, well, he's gay, right? But he never actually came out and said he was gay. But,
I knew he was gay.
Everybody knew he was gay. Everybody knew. It's like the tabloids knew he was gay. Like the string of boyfriends he had knew he was gay. I mean, you can't sleep with half of the gay community and then people not know that you're gay.
I don't think he came out. I don't think he came out saying he was gay because he kind of approached he kicked in the door with enough raw fabulousness that he didn't have to say it. It was understood.
Mr. Fahrenheit is about that.
But he didn't have a need to say it. Didn't have a need, did he?
It's like Liberace.
Really.
Yeah.
Liberace.
Yeah. Like Liberace.
Who cares?
But Liberace,
Who cares?
Liberace denied it, didn't he? Because he sued a tabloid over here and won. So I wonder if they got their money back.
Well, they had to prove it.
Yeah. Can you prove?
And he kept it well hidden.
Yeah, he did. He was.
Yeah, he did his best.
Like nobody knew. He kept it. Hidden in plain sight.
Yep.
And here's the thing. I really, honestly, how many people really honestly care?
It didn't matter. Yeah.
Liberace.
No, I'm not serious. I'm serious. He played a bad guy on the Adam West Batman. He played twin brothers.
Here's this guy who's an amazing pianist, and he comes in and he's like, he was amazing on Batman.
On Batman, yeah.
Well, it's
that's what we want to hear, man.
Comic show-ish, and the most nerdy thing that sprang to my mind was the image of Liberace in a fist fight with Batman, alternating between being his hard, gruff mobster. So you have to have Liberace in your mind as a hardened criminal guy whose twin brother is Liberace, basically playing Liberace. and Batman trying to figure out how these crimes were going because he was in two places at once. It's hilarious and it's camp, and I want to there's a mountain here that I will gladly die on. That it's okay to be camp and funny, and everything doesn't need to be serious in comics and in film. And I don't get why every superhero movie that comes out has to work towards a progressively darker, grittier. I mean, like, Frank Miller is not the end-all, be-all of comics, people. I'm sorry. I've got some rage welling up here.
Here we go.
Who knew in advance that you would be playing a Scotch theme? Yes, Mr. Chandel. Who indeed? Who beside yourself?
Really, gentlemen, I'm dismayed. This morning's Gotham City Times. The
This is boring.
Society page.
Is he? Well, I want to see him fight Batman.
I don't know why they didn't show it.
I would imagine he didn't fight him directly. That's why he had
He's with a machine gun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Obviously recorded 3 times on videotape.
Yeah. Whoa. Look at that VHS quality.
Yeah.
Too bad. She was a sweet old lady in her way. Not just sweet, Harry.
Yes! A secret radio place in Mrs. Cooper's handbag. We rescued her and the chauffeur on the sidewalk. No, it's lucky for us.
Is that a Scottish go-go girl?
Bat shield.
The bulletproof bat shield.
It's time to end this criminal.
Oh, it's foldable.
He put it in his pants. Did you notice that? He put it in his pants.
Pow.
Yes, we
Pow.
watch along. I should just marathon this stuff. I do rate
There you go. Backfire.
More deluded females. And you
That's a great clip.
Oh, we're getting a claim on this for sure. I love it.
I regret nothing.
I'm making a t-shirt right now.
Well, look, we've got a filter over it so it's transformative.
Turn this murderous machine off.
Here's the thought, Robin. It's not much more than they deserve.
Is there anything more than a lawyer who mocks the law? Or an artist who takes up crime?
I'm afraid there is. A sworn crime fighter who tries to take justice in his own hands.
These guys are about to die. Stop on.
Oh, God.
Thank you for that, Nick.
Oh my God.
Quick, to the Batmobile.
Julie Newmar, sorry, for a moment, whatever
there
you
you
were
go.
thinking, my whole world reset at that Julie Newmar.
Oh,
I
no.
regret nothing.
When he folds up that shield and sticks it in his underoos, man, that is gold.
He will always be the best Batman. I really have it. Like, you've Adam West, and then everybody else can quibble for second place.
Yeah. Eric is working on a cover for me. This is the artwork by Kanan White for the Killing Field trade paperback, which will be out later this year, honestly, guys. It will be. I'm still working on it. It's not going to be available with the campaign, but it's going to be available on my website later this year. So, and it will probably ship before the end of the year as well. We're trying to get all of it out before the end of the year so that we can just cram the game, and then we'll start the next arc. So that's the plan. That is the plan.
Don't forget to save, Eric.
Don't forget to save.
Yeah.
I really don't want to try to rebuild it from the screenshot. Oh, God.
What did I do again? I didn't remember. Yeah, I love that. So, Glenn, how you doing today, man? You get to stay a little longer today, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm okay. I've just got some refreshments from my gorgeous wife.
I mean, I think this is the first time Glenn and I have coincided on the show. Like, I always come after he leaves. So.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, Glenn.
It's, well, you know, it's
How are you doing, Pedro?
Pedro doesn't care for the
Well, guys,
English.
there goes the conspiracy that Pedro and Glenn B. Fleming were the same person.
The same person, yeah.
They were the same person all along.
We were in Panama at the same time, I believe.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Like the only like historic contact we had with the English was Panama had like a Scottish colony, because I mean Scotland had no colony, so they invested a lot, and that endeavor broke the Scottish crown, and that's how Scotland finally ended up being part of England. But yeah, dude, like we love the English down here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Better than those Americans, for sure.
Yeah.
We don't even like ourselves anymore.
Yeah. I turn on the news. I'm done
Give
with
it
it.
10 years and a couple elections. We're all going to have to get renamed.
We have to survive November 1st.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if Sturgeon and Scotland want to break away, they can drop a couple of nukes on the border and drag it down and put it off coast of Panama.
No, dude, like the thing is, like it was called Santa Teresa de Darien, I think it was called the colony. Everybody died of malaria because they had no idea where they were coming from. They got surrounded by the Spanish because the Spanish already had colonies. They had no support from the English, and they paid it directly from the Scottish crown. So dude, they were left to themselves, and they all died. It was horrible. Actually, there's a street in Panama City called Caledonia. Like nobody knows what it's called. Like I investigated a little bit. It's in honor of the Caledonian Kings, which is like the first Scottish monarchy. And dude, like I don't know, like that's the only contact we have with the English. Like a couple of you came for the construction taken out, but they died too. So
I got no idea about any of that.
You can go
what he's saying is
I believe you, but I
take
don't
out a life insurance policy then before you visit Panama. It doesn't do well.
No, dude, Panama was a death trap. Like
was it Drake who was buried off Panama? Or
Drake.
Attack
Portobello.
The singer, he's still alive, guys.
I was gonna say.
Well, he's stuck
I
in
had
a,
no idea.
He's stuck in a lead-lined coffin wherever he is.
Yeah, so Francis Drake attacked Portobello. He was one of the great like corsairs. Like he came down. Also, Henry Morgan destroyed Panama City, and he's buried in a lead coffin in Portobello Bay. Like people have been looking for it for years. Nobody has found it yet.
I don't think it's there.
Wow.
Me neither.
All right.
I think it's
like
long
Jimmy
gone.
Hoffa.
It's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the let's call them trinkets in the pyramids. They were stolen the day after they closed the door.
Yeah, I mean, if you like scuba diving, you go to that area, you'll find a lot of like sunken galleons and pirate ships. Like they're there, but nobody has found like Drake's coffin. It's a myth.
They're not going to.
No.
Did you hear about that super sub, that super U-boat that guy wanted to go and check out in the Caribbean years ago? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, he drowned. Yeah.
He what?
He drowned.
Well, right, okay. I was wondering what happened to him because this is 40 years ago. He wanted. He said he traced this super U-boat 3 times as big as the normal one that was taking art and Nazis to South America. And it sank in the Caribbean, and he said he'd found it, and he was on the news, and he said, I need 30 million quid to get down there and get it off the seabed. And there's all this gold in it, and the next day he disappeared.
Yeah, no, the thing is like the Enterprise, like I think if I remember correctly, it was between Guadeloupe and Martinique and Saint Martin, like around that area. That's where they found the U-boat, and that it's where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Caribbean.
Right.
The currents there are deadly, man. It's just because the Caribbean is a sea, so you don't have like huge tides, and then you see like a break, and then like it's the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, that's an ocean.
And the thing was, they were on their way back. So they had already dropped off all the Nazis and the gold. And
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just got the struck.
Oh my God, we're getting struck.
Oh, we're not just getting struck.
Yeah.
This is the
Being
point where I'd like to know that.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's talk about the industry for a little bit, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody here publishes.
Speaking of German U-boats, let's talk about comics.
Speaking of Nazis. Speaking of Nazis.
Wow.
Let's talk about,
Speaking of sunk vessels, how's that Marvel doing?
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know. Do you think it's time for the MCU to end?
No.
I feel it's right. The time is right.
I think it's time for it to change.
They need to take that horse and beat it as hard as they can.
No,
And
no.
Everybody
Yeah.
needs to see this stuff.
Dude, I'm so happy they're making crap right now. It's so good for
man.
business.
Yeah.
So good for my business, anyway.
Yeah.
People's like, man, this is garbage. Well, you want to read something that's not kids?
Want to
Here you
read
go.
real comics?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I want a real comic. Here you go.
I'm all about the carnage, and it's not because I'm an evil person. It's entertaining. And dude, like watching a car fire.
Welcome, past Master
normal
Dan.
Right now, it's just very entertaining to me. Like
Yeah.
every show, one flop after the other. It's like, okay, let's see how low can you get. Like
Here's what-
now, the bar is She-Hulk, and what's next? I read somewhere, I haven't seen it yet, that Werewolf by Night was pretty good.
It was really
That
good.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
But here's the thing. Probably
Werewolf
nobody
by
cared
Night-
about it there.
Yeah.
That's probably why
Yeah,
nobody cared
that's
about it
what
there,
it
so
was. They
someone
didn't-
was able to make a good movie.
They slipped it through the cracks because they didn't expect anything from it.
That's what it
And
was.
They managed to make a Universal movie. I'm shouting at you, Universal, because you failed us.
Yep.
With the best Universal monster movie since probably the 1990s Mummies.
Yep.
The Brendan Fraser mummy movies, which are some of my favorite. This had that classic. It was wonderful. That's what a comic book movie could be if you made a good comic book movie.
Yeah.
If
Or
you don't do it by committee, man, that's a problem.
Did you hear about this thing with Wakanda?
oh my god, I keep hearing about it.
Oh,
Don't
man,
watch-
I'm not even going to play the video because
No, play.
Which video?
Let me find
The
it.
trailer or what?
No.
No.
There are videos out basically telling if you're white and an ally of race.
Okay. Yeah,
don't
I've seen
watch
that.
This movie.
They had a oh no, it must be something different because they had a lady up there telling a lady of color telling all the white people not only to not go see the film but to buy a ticket for the film and give it to an African American so that they can go see the film and appreciate it. Is that what we're talking about?
that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the video.
Movie tickets.
Because I watched a little. I watched a little bit of the premiere last night. That was broadcast live on YouTube, and had to shut it off because it had gotten so ridiculous. I didn't know Atuma was in the movie.
Dude, as a man of color, I can't express my opinion without getting this channel struck. So I'll let you guys know what I think after.
I don't care if my channel gets struck too bad. Be honest with you.
Dude, this is horrible. I'm just letting you know this is horrible, and no, dude, like I'm so pissed that the movie it's Black Panther without Black Panther, that already is a problem for me.
All right, here we go.
But the whole attitude surrounding it, like, oh my god, this is such a dude. Marvel is not paying me. I'm not so happy that there's a Black Panther movie out. This is not an
Here's
event
the
that's gonna
deal.
change like
It actually looked like it was going to be pretty good, right?
like Black history or whatever.
But-
No, but it's just a freaking movie, man. Stop it.
But this right here, tell me you can hear it.
If you really
Yeah,
want
I
to
can hear
prove to black people that you
Yeah,
love
that's the
us
video.
and you care about us and you are down for
All right, so yeah, let's watch this. This is what I saw, and I was like, what? Oh my gosh, check this out.
if you really want to prove to black people that you love us and you care about us and you are down for the cause, do not go see that movie opening weekend.
No. Okay, I get the sentiment of it.
So that's somebody else doing their little react. That guy's funny.
I don't know, like what is this obsession with?
I don't know
love,
what's going
man?
on there.
Man, this gets me
It's
so
TikTok. That's
mad.
what happens when you're on TikTok, I guess.
Exactly right.
This gets me so mad, man. So mad.
Let me find her full video here.
About the cultural appropriation?
No, the whole thing about treating adults like children.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know, I'm a grown
I'm not logging
ass
in.
man.
Sorry.
The fact that I'm black, it's secondary to the fact that I'm a grown man. I don't need to be patronized. I don't need nobody to pay me a freaking ticket to go see a movie I don't want to watch.
Ring the bell.
You know, it's just, dude, what the hell is wrong with this black leaders, because it's the black leadership that's doing this. They're
it's Hollywood.
Want to prove to black people.
I'm trying to find her original video.
We need to bring back like parents beating their kids or something. We need to do something quick in this community.
Isn't her name like children, on the video?
I don't know.
Like, if you scroll up, isn't it like highlighted somewhere?
She might have yanked that video by now. Also, because
I don't know. She seems pretty arrogant.
Yeah.
I missed the point. I missed the point of this. Why is she saying don't go and see it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the point for you.
The end of the video basically says, "Don't go and see it, white people. Let the black people go see it and enjoy it without you there screwing it up."
Why am I going to screw it up?
Because
you're existing.
With your whitey whiteness, I guess. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, okay, you know what it is? The problem is some of us are so white we glow in the dark.
But do they not understand? Do those people not understand that character was created by whitey white people?
Exactly. It's just like, dude, that's dumb.
No, they don't. They don't realize that.
Now, here, you want to hear a real horrible tragedy about all this? I was slightly excited about this movie, and I'll tell you why. Because there's this trend of switching male characters for female characters in modern comics. Now, bear with me. Very often, it's done for no reason other than a gimmick. There's no.
Do not think like me. Over the fucking.
Oops.
Anyway,
they autoplay. They autoplay.
Carry on, Nick.
But so that's why we have the sudden snap of female Thor and stuff that causes all this kind of drama. But you have the actor who played Black Panther, whose name I have trouble pronouncing.
Chadwick Boseman.
But he died. He knew he was going to die, and that's a very powerful thing. He gave a lot to his performance, and I respect that as an actor. I respect anything. But they also did a lot of building up the character of Shuri, the little sister, who's basically the most logical to inherit both the throne and the role. So this is a point where you have laid properly through story with backup a viable reason for a mantle position, because Black Panther is a mantle position. He doesn't have a child of his own that we know of, to move to a female character. This is where, if you wanted female representation and it done right, there's a real opportunity here to actually do it, in contrast to the gimmick representation we see. And I've been looking at like, hey, maybe this is the chance for them not to be stupid about it, but do what they want. If you want female representation, you write it in. You have it make sense if it's a mantle passing down to somebody. Because some characters are mantle characters. The Black Panther's one. His dad was Black Panther before him. His granddad was Black Panther. There isn't another male heir, so have it go to Shuri. This could be powerful. This could be well written. This could be inspiring.
Dude, I don't know, man. I have a bone to pick here, dude. This is so hypocritical. You want to do right by black characters, dude? Give the limelight to freaking Milestone.
Yeah, how many people
and pay the family?
But how many people have played Batman?
Yeah.
How many people have played Superman? How many people have played? Well, you can't say Wolverine.
They could switch it out too, but if they're not going to, my thing was if they're not going to switch it out of respect for the actor, which I can see both sides. But it's so annoying because, like I said, Marvel for a long time, they had their diversity initiative. They wanted more female characters, but they would always take the laziest route in doing it. They'd ignore existing female characters and, even well-written, great characters that could have, headed their own book and been real popular. Silver Sable pops to mind right away.
Yeah.
And she even got a one-shot. They tried her. They could have done something with that. But instead, they'd rather do a zero-sum where the only way to have representation is to take something from another group.
You see,
and that's where I have the annoyance. There's no need for that.
Yeah, I would, as a white person, I would hate to have a white person play the black character. just for the sake of. You know, those characters are white, aren't they? Created by white people, probably for white people. I don't know, but they are white. So what I'm saying is that I wouldn't want to take away somebody else's character just to change it for me. Right? I would want my own character.
That'd be like trying to make Storm Scandinavian.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
check this out. Check this out, guys.
This message is to all our would-be accomplices and white allies. This message is to all the white people who have BLM in their bio.
You are
if
not
you
at war.
really want to prove to black people that you love us and you care about us and you are down for the cause, do not go see that movie opening weekend. You buy your ticket, you give it to a black person or a black family who can't afford to go. And then you go sit at that theater in front of the doors. You make sure that every black person in that theater can enjoy that movie in peace. You make sure that you use your body to block us from anybody who would be coming in that theater to do us harm. That is your job. You can go see it on another weekend. Go see it on the second or third weekend. But the first weekend, that's for us. To do anything other than this is anti-black.
Okay. There you go, guys.
Wait.
Don't go watch the movie.
Okay.
She told you to.
Wait.
She told you not to.
Wait, no. Stop. Pause. Hold. Xander, it's fine. It doesn't involve you. I'm having a conversation.
Is Pedro crying?
It's okay. It's not you.
No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do
it.
Pedro's angry.
I want to break
Pedro's
something,
angry.
man. I want to break something. For real.
Okay, yeah. Number one, we're
Did
not
you
at war.
catch what they implied at the end of that?
That people are going to come
You
attack.
got caught up in the don't go. Make a human shield. They were
protect.
this woman. I assume was equating make a line to protect us like it was the children at the first integrated school in America.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Colin.
I'm
this is a movie. Why
staggered.
can't a black person watch it in peace, just with a white person sitting next to him?
I mean,
because here's the thing, it highlights African culture. It highlights a black character, and why wouldn't you be happy that your white friend wants to go see it with you? You know, it's.
You didn't even catch the ding.
Oh, I did.
The
I
ding
caught all
at
the
the
dings.
end is make sure no one interferes, protect them.
Yeah.
She's saying, by saying you have to make a line, I want a line, make a line of white people sitting out front to make sure no one interferes. Like, you're saying that people need bodyguards?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
And
there's a certain thing, and I can't remember the name of it, but
I
it's in
wanna know what she's
psychology.
scared of. Is she-
No, listen. There's this thing in psychology, and I can't remember what they call it, but what it is where you project what you really want to happen publicly, so that it is a projected thought or idea. The media does this all the time. They did this with the let's welcome the real Steve Dye. Steve is here. He's going to be talking a little bit about the project he's working on today as well. But as I was saying, the media does this all the time. They did this with the riots, the peaceful protest, where they said, "Oh, well, people are going to do this," or "We're afraid people are going to do that." People didn't have the idea to do that until they projected that. What she's doing is she's projecting what she wants to happen. She wants white people to attack black people in the theater. That's what she wants. She's the one thinking that thought. There's not a single white person I know that's thinking, "Ooh, there's going to be a bunch of black people watching that movie. I'm going to go out there and do something mean and do something bad." But now what you've done is you've given the crazy an idea to do it. They wouldn't have had the idea if you didn't say anything. You know, it's stupid what she just said. It is.
Could you imagine what would happen if it was the other way around?
Dude, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I've a lot of horrible things have been done in the name of racism. Okay, so I'm not diminishing
Right? Yeah. There are racists out there. They're idiots.
I
that
haven't
jackwagon that went to that prayer meeting and killed those people.
I have encountered racism in my life, and it didn't happen in the U.S. It happened in Colombia. Why? Because I was dating an Italian girl, and her grandfather happened to be a Mussolini brown shirt in his youth. I get invited to the house, and I see the uniform like behind like glass and whatnot, and I recognize this right away. Like, wow.
Uh-oh. It's like flying a Nazi flag in someone's house. Like, what?
Yeah. So I was like, "Am I welcome?"
This
here
is
or
gonna be
whatever?
fun.
And the things like the grandfather says, like, "Oh, you recognize it? Were you a Mussolini brown shirt?" It's like, "Yeah." And we started talking about history for like 3 hours. No problem. Like, he was really impressed that I recognized the uniform, and we were talking about the riots and how, like, the invasion of Sorrento, because he was from there. And the person who didn't like me in that house was the mother.
Ooh.
And then the grandfather says, like, "Hey, I got some wine. Tell Pedro to come." Like, dude, you just talk to people.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. And this whole racism, like
ignorance breeds fear, fear breeds hate.
The N-word, dude, stop.
Yeah, the truth is ignorance breeds fear, and fear breeds hate. If you remove ignorance, you remove fear and you remove hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'll be honest with you. When you do remove ignorance, you actually start hating people for the right reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're lousy. Like, oh, that person is lousy. I don't hate that person because of the color of their skin or their sexuality or their religion. I hate them because they're lousy.
The content of their character, you still are going, you're a D-bag. It has nothing to do with what you wear or your hair color or your skin color or who you pray to at night. You're just a waste of flesh. Now, can we do something about it, or can you be away from me? These are the two solutions. Speaking of fear and hate and bad things that happen, there is something that needs to be discussed before we jump into the main project here. And that is, apparently Indiegogo has shadow banned our man Frog G comic. And I heard about that really late last night. I was going to mention it here. I've seen it pop up in the chat.
Well, why? Here's the thing. Why?
Oh,
why?
It's because of a card. Because the Baba Yaga card has like a very bosom headless chick, and they have a problem with that.
Well, see here. That's why. Okay. So obviously the comic book publishing has changed. The old way of doing things is you would go and you would get a publisher, and that publisher would go through Diamond. You would go into the stores, and that's how you did things. Yeah. But now, post-pandemic, people are buying comics in a different way when the comic book shops had to close down. They're buying online now. They're not actually going into the stores a lot of times. And sometimes when they do, but mostly now it's for games and collectibles, not really comics. People are getting their comics online. They're getting their comics directly from the publishers. They're getting their comics digitally. They're getting their comics through Amazon, or their books through Amazon. 3 of the panelists have books on Amazon. Nick, Glenn, and Zim all have books on Amazon. Almost all of us have crowdfunded. We've removed the distributor.
I think I might be the one who hasn't.
Yeah, well, technically you have not. No. We've removed the obstacle of the distributor with publishing, because really that's what publishing is making something and then distributing it to people. Like, that's what it's published at that point. And so we're good at making things, but it's that distributing it to people that has been the blockade. And now we found a way around it with crowdfunding. But unfortunately, even that's changing, because we're seeing people get shadow banned for, in my opinion, really stupid things. Like, she's got boobs and no head.
Well, okay, that does confuse me a little bit, because, like I said, I've seen most of the stuff, and some of it's more spicy than I would choose to partake in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't bring in a lot of comics that if Xander picks it up, I'm not going to have to answer a lot of questions, kind of deal. But I also I've been doing this show for a while now, and I've gone on a bunch of other shows, and I promote people, and I can't think of all the rather well endowed horror comics and the cosplay projects that I see out there, and a lot of ladies, both real and two-dimensional, and a lot of gore, because a lot of crowdfunding is sex and gore, because that's the cheapest, easiest way to get eyes on something. I mean, I hate to put it that way; it's a little
And
brutal,
for some people,
but,
that's entertaining. That's what they like.
but
man.
It's the truth. So, what about it? Like, I don't like when the line seems variable.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly. There seems to be a very sliding scale. Obviously, say Brian Polito with Lady Death has done quite well, and there doesn't seem to be a problem with that.
Right.
There's any number of femme fatale characters throughout the history of comics, and a lot of them have been marketed very successfully on both Kickstarter and Indiegogo. But yeah, with some previous shadow banning incidents that I looked into, certain terms you can put into an Indiegogo search engine will bring up any number of salacious material, not in the comic book field, but items that will simulate certain sex acts are being crowdfunded. So it's it's a very, very gray area.
Yeah,
Hey, Luke,
it really is.
Luke, check your Twitter.
I'm checking my Twitter
DMs.
right now.
Your Twitter DMs. I'm sending you stuff.
Checking the Twitter.
Because it's been a very prolific 2 days, man. Like,
Oh gosh, man.
sorry
that's
about
awesome.
that.
No,
sorry
you're
about cutting your flow.
Sweet.
Well,
Pedro's doing some animation for me. It's absolutely amazing what he's accomplishing over there. So Hojo contacted IGG about a cover I got done by Peter Gilmore that has a bloody knife, and they said it would have no issues. Somehow I doubt it. Well, here's the deal: the main cover for Hybrids number 9, The Killing Field Part 4, is censored. We're preemptively censoring it because we know it's gonna. I know it's gonna get the Project Shadow banned. Like it will. That right there is I have an alarm set every day for 10:10. I've been going to this new church, and finding a new church is very difficult. This is a mega church that doesn't feel like a mega church, but they're doing this thing. Yeah, they are very clear on their theology, and they're very they got very solid theology around abortion, marriage, sexuality, those kind of things.
Cool.
How are their charity outreaches?
Amazing. I mean, they're very active. They're always doing things. They're sending out missionaries. They got thousands of people being baptized a year. They've got hundreds of missionaries going out every year. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing. And so I'm like, I really like it. And they're doing this thing that every day at 10:10, everyone's praying. So unless you're, obviously if you can't make it, you do it at 10:10 at night. But I set my alarm for 10:10, and so every day I've just been praying at 10:10 with it. Great church. They're online and all that kind of stuff too. So I'm able to attend while I'm gone. So it's been pretty nice. While trying to do this new world that I'm living in. But yeah. So I've preemptively censored the cover, knowing that it's got a bloody person, a dead person on it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a corpse on the cover. I know they're gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah, dude. What Indiegogo is doing, like, dude, it's their platform, it's their environment, and they set up the rules. But what they're forcing people to do is to organize themselves and go the Eric July route, where we sell our comics from our own website. We're going to use them as long as we need them to, but if they do that, they keep on doing that, they're making a hostile environment for indie creators. We're going to create our own.
Yep.
So they do that at their own peril, man. Like, I don't know.
When you start gatekeeping and shadow banning like that, you just encourage people to leave.
Yeah,
exactly.
And isn't it? Yeah. I do find it funny as somebody who is without any hashtags, because I'm actually I don't.
He's a no hashtag kind of guy.
But and I'm not saying anything. I have my reasons because it lets me be wherever I need to be. But because that lets me connect with people who wouldn't. That's what I do. I facilitate people. But to hear a bunch of people who are labeled as basically the orientation of gatekeeping as coming into our culture. The term was to label the comics gate guys. I mean, that's the biggest element when you look from a uninvolved perspective. To hear that you guys are sitting there saying the same thing. Oh, that's funny, past Master Dan. That's hilarious. He put hashtag Nicholas Talk, hashtag Nick Tucker. But anyway,
hashtag no hashtag.
But my point being, the yes, he is. It's an awesome shirt. No, why? How can people be mad at you guys for gatekeeping when you're sitting there saying gatekeeping sucks? I'm just seeing this as
It's okay when we do it.
It's okay when we do it.
We're doing it for the right reasons.
Because we're the good guys, right?
No, I mean it's like I said, it's an interesting thing to see as a, a deliberate. I don't want to say outsider, but to go. Those guys are saying they're gatekeeping you. Those guys are you're gate, and at the same time, the people that matter that I see, which are the consumers, the fans, the people who will go and go, hey, this is an interesting title, are going to buy said interesting title regardless what anybody waves in front of them. And it's a fascinating process, and it's a fascinating point in the history of both comics and just free press. The idea of where I think this is almost the break that crowdfunding has created is the biggest thing, I think, since mobile type for independent creators. And I know that that's a big thing to say as a history nut, but realistically, being able to produce your stuff without outside funding completely reshapes the game. And I wonder how if the companies like Kickstarter and Indiegogo are starting to get pushback from the larger production companies, people like Disney, who now own Marvel.
The larger production companies don't care.
I mean, they don't.
Oh no! See that's
no, they don't.
Anything that cuts into their bottom line, they had you gotta.
They don't even see that as a bottom line. They don't see printed. They see printed comics as a necessary evil at this point, and they don't care who produces them. That's why they get the quality that they get. If they actually cared about the product, they'd be making product that sold hundreds of thousands of copies, and they don't.
I think the problem is laziness, man. Because the marketplace of ideas is a lot of work. Like an open marketplace of ideas is a lot of work. When you start gatekeeping, it's because you don't want to debate people when they have ideas different from you. Right. So I don't know if it's more pressure. I think it's more laziness. Like, oh no, we have this.
Oh no, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pedro, but I think the entire thing about shadow banning, especially on Indiegogo, is definitely pressure, but it's not from the companies. No, it's from these triggered people out there. There's just things I don't like to see, and somebody up there has climbed up the ranks of Indiegogo and has just gotten into enough power that they can push that weight around and gatekeep, and that's what they're doing. And they need to stop it, or else they're going to lose their money. It's that way with any kind of large corporation. You get the little weasels in there that wiggle their way up to the top to enough power, and then they start pushing their weight around, and all of a sudden they're losing money. Look at all these corporations out there now that are losing money.
The pattern we see here is the same thing that's going on with the streaming services.
It's a delayed reaction from the same thing that happened over at Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, no, what I mean is YouTube came out, right? Everybody loved YouTube. And then YouTube started putting more limitations on what you could do. They started adding, you can't say these kind of things, you can't show this kind of content, etc. So people went, okay, we'll go to this service, Twitch. And that now Twitch is starting to do a lot more of that limited.
Now you're on Rumble.
Yeah, Twitch nuts, man.
Yep, now you're on Rumble.
Now you're on Rumble. And what happens is when you're little, you need to let the people in, but you're not worried about getting caught in the backlash if somebody does something shady. But as soon as you get big enough to be a target, suddenly there's a corporate concern where what protects the business's interests better, and that's where it starts to filter out the fringe and the people who are outside of whatever the norm or public is. And from that is the defensive side to the offensive side of the social justice warrior who is getting supposedly standing up for somebody else, many times without asking the people they're supposedly standing up for whether they care. Right? And they start applying the pressure. So you have the two beats of this, where the company's trying to protect their interest, the pressure's coming in from these guys. So the only thing we're going to get is what Luke Stone's setting up to do, where Luke's setting up to do his own. And I love your bravado, Luke, but it terrifies me because you do constantly provoke the universe. And like in this one screen, my boy Luke, whom I love, is just waving a red flag at the universe, and I do sincerely pray that it doesn't
Nick,
become dramatically appropriate to hate.
Here's the deal, Nick. When you live your life of when you live a life of character, you have nothing to hide and you have no ammunition against you. I do no wrong to no one, and I do no ill, okay? Because that is my conviction, and that is how I live my life. When you live your life like that, you can say things like this, okay? Because in the past, and you guys can attest for this, every bonehead that has decided they were going to try to come at Luke Stone has failed. They failed drastically because there's never any ammunition. When you live a life of integrity, you don't have to worry about being canceled because you can't be canceled for having integrity. When you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, you don't do wrong by people, you take care of the people you work with, you're honest, they have nothing to use against you. And it ticks them off. Okay? So you can have this kind of vibrato. And that's why you don't have to worry about being canceled, Nick. Because you live a life of integrity.
And I would say this, however, my counterpoint on that one is I have been canceled due to fallacy.
Well,
and in different
you got to show receipts. That's my thing. You got to show receipts.
I
and
think
in this day and age, people want receipts.
I think that's very naive, Luke. It doesn't take two people to start a fight. It takes one.
Right.
So if anybody wants to come at you, they're going to come at you. They're going to find
come at you
something.
sideways.
Well, they're going to come at you from behind. If whatever they want to do, even if what they say about you isn't true, it still gets heard, and a lot of people will still believe it, whether it's true or not. Truth doesn't come anywhere near this, and that's the problem. I think that we're all cancelable because of some idiot who doesn't like something.
But you're only cancelable if you care. Like that's the thing. As soon as you start apologizing and start caring, then yeah.
If you don't care that you get cancelled, I don't like that. I care. I don't want to get cancelled. I want to talk to you and I want to talk to everybody else.
But you can't cancel me. That's the thing. You can't.
I'm
cancel
not going to cancel you
because I'm here's the thing. I'm honest. I'm upfront, and the people that I have done business with and that I associate with will have my back. There are enough receipts to say, look, anything you try to say negative about Luke is not. The only thing they have to go at me about. The only thing they have to go at me about is my faith. That's all.
You hope that they will, Luke, but unfortunately, a lot of people are just cowards.
Yeah. They don't care what you are. They want to get you.
I wouldn't count on other
Maybe
people.
I can spin this a different way. Because you are looking at it from the moral, character-based, your defense is of the and it is very, bless you, it is very Christian, very appropriate, faith-based defense of I'm walking the right path, I have done nothing wrong, and that shouldn't. what is your mechanical defense? For example, you have made your own. You're building your own platform.
And my own network, yes.
So I see two conversations that are running parallel, and they sound like the same conversation. But what they're talking about more is if you did everything right and people started putting a bunch of lies out to Indiegogo, or Kickstarter or whatever, they didn't like the fact that you've flown the CG flag, whatever. They could cancel you. They might be totally wrong, but they could bump you off their platform.
And that is true. Okay, so I will say that.
Luke,
I was talking, Glenn. I was talking, Glenn. I will say this: when you are absolutely right that the people that are in charge, you can be quote unquote canceled, but you can't be canceled if you create your own network of people that know the truth and that want to hear the truth. And if someone is willing to believe a lie, they don't deserve to be in your network. They don't need to be a part of what you've got, because I truly believe that God's got my back. I do believe that. Okay? So not only do I have my faith that has kept me living a life of integrity all these years, living in a fishbowl as a pastor, that's going to continue on as an artist.
Right.
As just a comic book guy. Not only do I have that, but I have faith that God is going to let the right people see that any lie that comes against me is not going to prosper. It's not going to win.
But listen,
but the truth is, I'm also wise in the fact that I know you have to create your own networks and your own platforms and your own ways of providing a living for yourself and those around you without allowing other people outside of your control. You have to be able to control everything. And that is where Ripa was smart, but also made a mistake because PayPal is screwing around with people's money, right? So I've created, not really created from scratch. There's this company called Thrinacia.
Thank you, Hojo.
You can buy or rent their coding to plug into your website, and I've paid for extra features for mine, and I can host up to 10, 20, 30 campaigns. Doesn't matter. I can host a lot of campaigns for myself and others, and that money goes directly into a bank account. And that bank account is monitored and is secure. No one can touch that money but me. Like, I have access to that. And so this now is a closed system. Okay?
Yes.
This is a closed system. Anything I want to crowdfund on here, I can. It is completely and utterly safe from anyone canceling it, from anyone taking it down, from anyone deleting it, from any of that. You can go to Thrinacia and try to complain. It doesn't matter. They're like, no, we just have the coding. They're paying for the coding. It's not us. Like, we're not the platform. Luke is the platform. Like, that's the thing. I'm the platform. And so you have to do that. You have to build up your network. That's why you work on subs. That's why you work on mailing lists. That's why subs aren't everything to me, because I know YouTube could go away tomorrow. We already know Facebook is already limiting and killing us in the algorithms. Twitter. That's why people are starting to go to Rumble and to stream to Rumble. I'm actually working on a way to stream directly to my website so that you can go directly to lukestonestudios.com and watch my streams and watch my videos. Some videos will only be hosted up there once I get it going. I'm working on all of these things to be self-inclusive. A company like Squarespace understands that same thing, and they are making all of these tools available to the individuals that use that platform. So the only thing right now I have to worry about is if Squarespace decides to go nuts. That's the only thing I have to worry about right now. But I'm also backing everything up so that I won't lose anything if they do. Like, everything is, I'm working on backups to backups, because one thing I've learned in the course of the last 12 months is not to trust anyone. Well, actually, in the course of the last 2 years, don't trust anyone, unless you really, really, really think you can. But anyway, all right, I'm done.
This is what I wanted sometimes I have to devil's advocate Luke to get him past. Once in a while, Preacher Luke will answer a question. I need Businessman Luke to answer the question. And I love both of them, but it's a matter of shifting gears. This is the difference between saying your prayers at night and saying your prayers at night, but keeping your doors locked. Thank you, Hojo. If Nick Tucker gets canceled, I'm retiring. But like I said, I know what it's like to have people in power come at you when you're defenseless, and what you end up is what I refer to as the nebulous them. Because when you talk to people, you'll hear, well, they said, or well, that's up to them, and it's very hard to find out who they are in these kind of situations. So, being that I've experienced this from time to time, making sure that my buddy Luke is well fortified and well defended is how it's how I take care of people. I've been gifted with the ability to think like a bad guy. I can walk into a place and go, if somebody was robbing it, they'd do this, 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 and this. It's not something I like, but it's just one of those talents I have. So I'll walk in and go, okay, Luke, if they want to do this, what's going to keep that? And what he did in the middle of that beautiful tirade was answer a lot of that. Yeah. And that's good, because I would never have Luke explain how much he's going to prevent problems ahead, so that when people are looking at problems like IGG being stupid, I'd love for them to start going, hey, you know what? I'd like to run a parallel campaign on LukeStoneStudios.com just to see how it would go. Because I can't guarantee how well it would work, but I can say Luke's not going to goof you over, and you're going to, and you'll get a shot. How good it goes.
That goes to my point. That's the environment Indiegogo is creating with their behavior.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, it's not even a problem. Oh, that's what you're doing? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Where did you live?
No, I do gatekeep. I'm not even gonna lie, I do.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just not letting anybody on my platform. I have to trust them reasonably.
You're looking for the word vet. There is a difference between gatekeeping and vetting.
Yeah.
Because gatekeeping,
Nick the Map Maker,
to me, is about somebody's stats. We don't want women here, or we don't want white people here, or we don't want black people here, or we don't want men or trans or whatever. That's not an individual. Now, saying I don't want that person there because they've ripped off this person, this person, this person, and they tried to
completely different.
me out of money. That's vetting. That's a whole different ballpark.
Now, I'm still working on this landing page, guys, but you can see this first one was the test to make sure that the new feature worked. This was originally, the platform you could only choose one tier, and then you have to check out with that one tier. You can't do add-ons, and you couldn't pick multiple tiers. I wanted it to work like a shopping cart, where you can add multiple tiers to your shopping cart. And so we fixed that feature. It costs a decent amount of money to do that, but it is in there, so it's functioning for me. I want to do one more test before I allow other people to use the platform, but I will have a landing page. I'm working on a URL to where you can go directly to this. I'll probably change the name of the platform to something else and have something a little less antagonistic on the front page, because that's, I started this in a TIFF.
You still have the come on in, I'll be live soon.
Sorry, banner
running.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, I that just dawned on me. So, but go on.
There you go. So yeah, I'm working on that, but it'll be really easy. You can just click the start a project button, and then you sign up, and you put in your title project, start a campaign. But you have to. It'll prompt you first to join the network, and I have to approve. If you want to, like, anyone can join it, but I have to approve your campaigns. And honestly, I'm gonna let, if I know you, and I don't care. Well, I believe in free speech. Yeah, I'm a man of faith. But if you're like, look, I really want to I really want to write a book about this, you know, and I think that I want to, you know, and I understand where you're coming from, and I know that you're not, you know, going to hurt me or anybody else with it, you know, and you're not trying to attack people, you know, then I'm, you know, it's free speech. It's comic books, man. Comic books, that's always been a free area to do things like that, you know. It always has been, and it always should be.
Part of the fun of the art form.
It really is. There's all kinds of stuff. It's that, I think that's, you know, it's part of the reason why manga is doing as well as it is, because there's something there for everybody. Yep. And it's not just, I talked with a publisher, and we were talking about the Arrow Comics collection, Zem, and they said, well, your book is the only one that I really am interested in on that, on that, in that publisher.
They just haven't read them.
Well, and I said, well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, yeah, the other ones just don't seem to appeal. They don't look like they'll appeal to me. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I said, actually, that's probably for the best, because, you know, my book can get you as a customer, and those books can get somebody else as a customer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, quite honestly, if all we offer is what appeals to one person or one small group of people, we're going to be very limited on our reach. And you have to diversify a bit. You have to have things that other people enjoy and like seeing and like being a part of. You know, that you have to. That's what you have to do. And you want a lot of different taste, I think. Now, quality and storytelling should always be at the core of it, right? Mm-hmm. But the means and methods can be completely different, and that's what I wanted to do. So I created this for myself, and whenever I make something for me, I make it for other people too. Now, I don't expect a lot of people to jump on and say, hey, Luke, let's use your platform to crowdfund. But I might have one or two people that say, hey, let me try it out. Now, the problem with this platform is I don't have a lot of people going to mine to look it up. So Indiegogo and Kickstarter, they got a built-in audience already. Mm-hmm. And so those are still great platforms to use. But when things get hinky, I wanted to make sure that I had something that would stand on its own. So I didn't have to worry about it. Because, Glenn, you are right in a sense. People can lie, and they can cancel you. They can get you shut off from things. And I don't want to get shut off from being able to sell to my customers. My customers they're gonna be there anyway. You know, they're gonna know. They know the quality. They know the man. I'm very open about who I am. I don't have any secrets. And I'm always gonna have that connection with those people. And I'm working on ways to find new people, new customers, new fans. But I always want to be able to have a way to get the product to them, because that's where they cancel you. Because they were trying to do that in Diamond for a while. They did it with most indies. They shut them out. There was nothing you can do. Then they started making ridiculous minimums and ridiculous discounts, stuff that the small publishers just could not maintain, just couldn't happen. But there is a metamorphosis in the comic book industry right now, and I think this is part of where it's going. Honestly, I really do. So, but let's move on. Let's watch this trailer, guys.
America has a new hero, and she kicks butt. Join American Bliss in her exciting first issue, as she finds her way as the new champion of freedom.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Nice. Eric, your art looks good on this, man.
Thank you very much.
Your art looks good on this thing. You guys are funded.
Yep.
91 backers, $5,449, 25 days left. You guys still fall into the buy one back one campaign, our hashtag. Guys, let's remember to use that. Where is that buy one back one guy? Where did I put it? There it is. Check that out. Buy one back one. Buy one back one. What that is basically we're saying that if it's a campaign that you know is like it's you guys are technically funded. You could be buy one, and you guys are quality. You know these guys deliver. So there's the buy one is when you're backing a project that you know is going to be successful. Look up the hashtag buy one back one and find a campaign that's under $10,000 that maybe you haven't heard of yet, and check it out and see if it speaks to you. We're not telling you that you have to buy it. We're telling you just to open your eyes and see what's available, see what's out there, because there are a lot of things out there that maybe you've missed, and this looks like a book that's going to be really good. So Eric, if you can, just give us a little bit of a verbal synopsis of what this book is about.
All right, so American Bliss made her debut in Power Trip, which was a companion book to Perfect 10 issue number 2. And that's where we first get to see the character. Now we're going to be digging deeper into the myth and the lore of this character. So Kendra Bliss, she's inherited her power from her father. It's this kind of an amorphous power, similar to kind of what happens in My Hero Academia with the All for One. It's passed on through family lineage here. And Bliss was never supposed to get the power, and she inherited it, but not by choice. And now she's dealing with, a burnout of a brother, living in her father's shadow, and now having to deal with all of the rogues gallery left behind after her father passed away. And so that's why Michael Oden, our friend, wrote this. Father's Pride, sorry, and we're slated for a 5-issue run for this storyline, and now's the time to jump on board.
It sounds like fun. The art looks tremendous. I like this shot here of the bad guy through the thigh gap. Well done.
That's memeable.
It is a nice bit of framing.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like the fact that it's on. There's no compromise. Like you know what you're selling here.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is patriotic as hell. It's got a great story, and she is an idealized superhero human.
So your creative team is. Let me see if I can find that page again. I don't see a list of your creative team.
So Michael Oden's the writer. I'm doing all the line art, and then we have Federico as the colorist.
Okay.
And he's done a phenomenal job with my lines.
And Joel Saavedra. Doing your
Yep,
letters.
You'll be doing the letters. Same letters as Perfect 10, so you get the same quality there.
Very good, man. This is great. Great work. I'm very impressed by it. So this is kind of Dave's company, Genuine Comics, extending the universe. And he's not writing it. Oden's doing it, huh?
Big step for Dave, and I think it's going to work out great. Oden's penned a really good story. Michael actually sought out to be able to do this character when she popped up on the pinup that came with Perfect 10 number 2, and he's like, "Yes, I want to do this." And then I saw that he was going to start writing it. I'm like, "Dude, I want to draw this." So Michael was actually fundamental in lobbying for me to be part of the project, and I'm very blessed, very pleased to be working with Dave. He's got a wonderful universe. The characters are all well done. It's very much Bronze Age, 90s.
Well, you've picked up a backer,
and it's great.
So we've put a little bacon bits on this.
All right, thank you.
So we picked up a back. You're at 92 backers now, $5,508. Very nice, guys. Very nice. 109% funded. Still got 25 days left. Man, this is a really cool project. I really like the art. So I like the idea of like when people come into a character saying, I want to do this, which is kind of what I've got with the triple play. I've got the writers like, I want to write this character. And that's always fun. This is a nice cover.
It is. I swear, Dave Grink knows how to get a hold of that 90s era feel.
Yeah.
In any project he like reaches out to. And
Eric, nice job on these buildings, dude.
Oh yeah.
That panel's great with the birds. I
Thank
love
you.
that, man.
They're such a pain in the butt, but thank you.
Speaking of pain in the butt, there it is. Right there in the middle panel. But yeah,
But
that
no,
looks great.
this is that amazing Gen 13 kind of feel, you know.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
am
Appreciate that
here
compliment.
for it.
Eric, you just keep leveling up, man. You're getting better and better.
Well, you know, that's why I said I replied to one of Ethan's posts. I said, as someone who's kind of obscenely talented, or not, you know, I didn't claim obscene talent forthright because I'm always growing. I'm always trying to grow, and I don't think, you know,
I say
there's
I'm
no
lewdly adept.
there to get there. You just keep going up the staircase.
Yeah. I'm not obscenely talented. I'm just lewdly adept.
Nice.
Oh god, Luke, that sounds like a merch potential right there.
I'm not just drawing this. I did the logo as well, and I put together the. You know, we didn't have a video at launch originally. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we need to have that, and so that I did in a day, just trying
Nice
to
job, man.
get something awesome. And my lovely wife, she did the voicing there at the end, which worked out pretty well. Just got to get an actual sound studio so we don't have that echo.
It looks good, man. I really like this. This is I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm a backer already. I gotta check my backer list. I might not be. But yeah, you guys are offering digital.
Love
How many
that.
pages is this?
It's a 25-page story, but then we're gonna put a bunch of pinups. There's been a huge influx of fan art that has just been unsolicited that's come in for this character. So there's going to be a really nice
I think I'm gonna have to
gallery
draw.
with it
Dude,
too.
unsolicited fan art is so much better than unsolicited nudie pics. It's just awesome.
Unsolicited. Is this?
Speaking of pinups, I'm working on one right now because we did get 250 signups before we launched. So I'm doing this pinup here that I've got. And that's going to be available to everybody. And I'm also doing sketches. We just added a tier. There's the patriotic sketch package. That's also an add-on. So if you want if you want a real drawing of Bliss, you can add that on if you've already backed, or you can buy that sketch tier and get some original art that way.
That's very cool, man. I
Can
like
you
that.
tell us about this villain? Because I love this. I mean, hotness is easy to love, but this is a great character design.
Yeah, I keep coming back to that. That's really cool looking.
This is Chernobyl. He's from Perfect 10. So if you want to see more of him, get Perfect 10 1 and 2 and 3. I think Dave, because we're still running the Perfect 10 3 Indiegogo as well, so you could actually pick that up if you wanted to. But this is Chernobyl, and Odin insisted to use Chernobyl as the opening salvo. So we opened the comic with this beatdown fight between Bliss and Chernobyl, and I love this character. He's radioactive, very Titanium Man feel for me. Like, so that's kind of how I look at the character. It's like, okay, this is this big hulking monster, and just leaving destruction in his wake. Very, very cool design. I'll tell you, Dave has a really good knack for character design.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing about this book is I got to design 3 new bad guys for the Genuine Universe based on Odin's descriptions of them. So we have the villain Vermilion Versage, and then we have a duo of Divide and Conquer. And I'm very, very privileged to be able to add my own flair and style and design those characters for the universe. So those are going to be 2 of the main bad guys in the 2nd issue, but you get a glimpse of them here in the 1st.
Very cool, man. Very, very cool. Guys, check this out. Let's put the link in the put the link in the comments for you. Check this one out. We got something else for you to see today as well. And I'm going to pull that up next. Let me stop sharing here. Remove. Stop screen. Present. Share screen.
Pedro and I are on the same page, which is the Like, take your time, Luke. We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine, man. Like
I saw it. Check that out. Man, that is... Eric, you're getting better and better.
Yeah, and that impossible twist. I don't know where I read that. Like, you can show ass and tits at the same time. Well, the body's
Well, why not?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
You just break that lower lumbar and you get it.
Exactly.
Let's just crack that just a little bit.
And there you go.
Yeah, this is Blitz hanging out on the flagpole over Old Faithful.
A flagpole, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's patriotic and entertaining. I love it.
Old Faithful guys who are spewing in the background.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Go up here in the corner.
Yeah, dude, it's unapologetic. I remember when Dave came with this character, Shay, she had a we gave her a nickname, and I've always remembered, like, we called it Liberty, we called it Liberties. Yeah, just...
Liberty? Liberty and A?
That's That's America's.
That's America's bosom. Yeah, there you go. That's America's bosom right there.
Somebody actually commented that when we were teasing the launch, and it's like, you know what, that gives me an idea. So that's where the idea for this print came from.
Actually, and what's funny is the nipple shadows that you guys put in the colors on the breast. Those crack me up a little bit. Like, hey,
diamond nipples right there. It's just cut into glass.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's got me asking.
I was worried about, I'm thinking I'm on a show with a freaking pastor. Oh my gosh. Okay, you gotta keep it online, Nick. You're on a show with a pastor. Remember who you're with.
I mean, well,
Luke, your villain arc has been interesting. I will give you that. We are in the middle of Stone villain arc. And,
I've learned this. You either die a hero or you live long enough to be the villain. And I had my chance to be the hero. And I woke up, so it's time for Act 2. No, honestly, I just got tired of people taking advantage of me. I'm real tired of people, in the industry coming up and trying to make money off of me instead of me making money off of me, And so I'm done with that. I'm partnering with people that I can trust. There's a handful of people that I trust exclusively in this business.
Yeah, dude.
Piper,
in this business, your word is your bond, man. That's why I try to be as visible as possible when I'm dealing with clients. Like, hey, this is where we are. This is where we are. Like, keep just constant updates. Because in the end, we're just faces on the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if somebody chooses to disappear with your money, he very well can.
Yeah.
So, dude, you gotta work on that trust, man. If not, your future is not.
And I'm only using if I try out a new artist or a new contributor or vendor, I'm very sketchy with them at first. I'm like, I don't, I'm very, I don't trust them until. But now, if it's someone that other people have used on multiple occasions, I'll trust them more. Like, I'm getting the Slam Buddies for this next campaign, and they're like, well, we need the money up front, and I'm like, normally I don't do that, but they've produced Slam Buddies for a lot of other people. Dave Brink being one of those, I believe, and I'm like, okay, well, since you've produced work for other people, I'll jump on with this one.
Yeah, Slam Buddies is legit. I mean, all the independent wrestlers that I know, they usually end up with their own Slam Buddy.
Yeah.
And,
so so I'm like I said, I'm very leery. I'm tired of people taking advantage of me, and my friends. And so I'm like, look, I'm trying to forge a way that removes those kind of things from happening. So
Yeah, I
All
can
right.
agree a lot with that. I
Good,
mean,
yeah,
I spent how
that's
long
good.
hoping to build somebody else's YouTube channel, and I should have been building my own.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke, that one's still in demand, but that's not the current campaign.
Oh, that's not the current campaign.
Oh, speaking of in
Why don't you
demand,
send me the link in private real quick?
yeah.
Sure.
And I'll get us there.
Tropical Magic is going on a second chance campaign in November.
Awesome.
So I'm going to start doing the rounds. We're going on Kickstarter this time, and this is a Jane's experiment. Like, I don't care. We'll use any platform. They're all pirates right now, so who cares? So be on the lookout for that. We're going to send out the links and do the rounds on the shows. Sorry.
No,
We're going to get the right campaign up here, guys. This is my bad.
We have
I pulled the
technical
wrong one up last
difficulties. It just
Oh, okay. I said something improper.
No,
not at all. You are fine.
Improper.
And
Listen to what I say. If it's any worse, yeah.
It's
just
really
don't go
easy,
worse than
Pedro.
what I say.
don't have my face buried in my hand. That's a good
So you're
thing.
fine,
You haven't
yeah.
said anything problematic.
Okay.
Unlike Luke, who it's like I've given up wearing a hat because I'd end up taking my hat or my head thing off and chunking it about halfway through every episode.
Here we go. This one's live. We are at 70% funded, 26 days left. Pardon me. We're going to watch this trailer.
Primary ignition.
Rocket Magazine, built to propel indie comics into the stratosphere. A modern ode to publications like Wizard, Epic Illustrated, Alter Ego, and Heavy Metal. Featuring Billy Tucci, Dan Fraga, Andy Smith, Peter Cimetti, and Mark Polton. Additional content, from tutorials to previews, from the Barton Brothers, Crowfire Studios, Keir Covington, Dean James, Rob Arnold, and many more. Become a part of the mission.
Only on Indiegogo, so if you see it cloned, you know, it's not the real deal.
It's the only one.
It's the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right,
There's no
so
substitutes.
the idea of this is really cool to me. That you are doing this thing the way that you're doing it, Steve.
Thanks, man.
So it's you, and who else is involved with this project?
Well,
as far
Aldous,
as, like, in the
Aldous
center?
on the Farm is my editor at large.
Okay.
3D Robin is my graphic designs guy that produced the logo and a lot of the interior touches that I use when laying it out. And, you know, those are the primary guys on the team. Got a few other people involved as sounding boards, but most importantly, I've got 20 plus creators involved in showcasing
awesome.
their work.
So is this comic book sized or magazine sized?
It's magazine sized. It's
so this is going to be
same as a Wizard.
So all right. So this is
Cool.
See, that's what I like about this. This is kind of a it's such a neat idea. I miss Wizard magazine, you know, and those kind of publications. They all go woke, or they go away, or they, you know, those kind of things. It's nice to be able to see something that's so focused on indie and good stuff, you know, not the jacked up stuff. This cover is really cool. Who did this cover?
This is really cool. I'd love to be a part of something like this.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have you in there. I mean, you know, it is somewhat. I mean, in like your current American Bliss, you know, it takes me back to the '90s, and I'm not necessarily trying to evoke nostalgia, but I can promise you that there is no danger whatsoever of this publication ever going woke. It's
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, and it's really the idea is.
Is that a Bluefoot man? I am so sorry, but is that a Bluefoot demon?
Dude, you got to check out Camel Moon's Boot and Heels. You would love it. It's so fun. It's funny stuff.
Yeah, you know, and much like, you know, Camel Moon's bringing a generous history and animation to the game. You know, those are the tools that he has. I've been in the magazine publishing business for 20 plus years, and ran some rather large publications in a different genre. And you know, that's a little bit of my impetus is that, I can draw a half decent Snoopy, and that's about it. You won't be seeing any American Bliss fan art from me, sadly. But I can put out a full sized, really thick magazine that showcases the talents of again a couple of dozen creators per issue, and so
That's awesome. Now, how often do you plan on producing these?
well, I'm working my way up. I mean try to keep a long answer short. It depends on the reception. It depends on if people actually want it. I'm a huge fan, or was a huge fan, more accurately, of Wizard, and in certain ways, moreover, Roy Thomas's alter ego, magazines like that really gave me some insight into how the comics that I loved were created, why, and what the creators were all about. I think that there is easily enough talent to do this quarterly, and certainly I've done monthly magazines and so forth, and have every confidence that I could do 4 a year. But it all, whatever the market will bear, I guess.
Okay. So now we know Eric. Eric's been around for a while, but tell us a little bit about you. How'd you get kind of started in the indie comics scene and the
well, it's the typical story. I'm the kid that back when spinner racks were a thing would ride his bicycle down to the grocery store and haul away all that I could haul away. Later on, and back to the magazine thing, I was an every Wednesday guy for a lot of years until not only the content changed, but the vibe of the stores changed. All of a sudden, I mean, if you want to be a tabletop gamer, that's cool, but that's not what I'm into. But yeah, I've just
Nick and I forgive you.
Yeah, I've loved comics my whole life, and that's how, And then yeah, I was one of the, I was in the earlier stages of stumbling on this new burgeoning independent scene, Comicsgate, whatever you want to call it, this scene of creators that had been maybe forced out or maybe just lost their audience and come over here to do it on their own and explore the freedom of expression that self-publishing can offer.
That's great, man. And so you say you're not an artist. Do you write besides putting together
well,
publication?
that's it's a.
What is it you do here?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially
what is it you do, brother?
Yeah, well, that's really what I am, is a writer at the very base of all of it. I fell backwards into that a little bit. I got recruited in high school and in college to run the school newspaper and to do the magazine and that sort of thing, and also I served a stint as a sports writer and then a sports editor for a couple of local papers to put myself through school, and then I actually, different facet of it, but I raced motorcycles for a long time.
Oh, sweet.
I grew up in my granddad's motorcycle dealership. I'm a third generation racer, and yeah, I was doing that
What class?
I mean, all of them up to the at a professional level. Ultimately, a moderately successful professional level.
I'm sorry, my dad used to own a Ural dealership. I grew up around bikes. Okay,
nice.
So my brain went, "Are you a flat tracker?" And sorry, I'm keeping.
Yeah, well, I actually, that's a great question. We're veering off into yeah, but that's a great question. Yeah, I like to joke that my dad and my uncle Joe were both pro flat trackers, and I like to joke that I didn't know you could turn any direction but left on a motorcycle. So, like 11 or 12 years old, but that's not entirely accurate. But
no.
Yeah, I mean, most of my endeavors were in the motocross, arena cross, supercross type of thing. But I dabbled a bit in road racing and some supermoto, and yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, back to making magazines.
We've
and being a
established
writer.
his man card.
Well, the thing is that I discovered that I had somewhat of an ability to string together cohesive sentences in a structured manner and to tell a good story at a pretty early age. But once I got out of school, I was thinking, well, I can probably do that forever, but if I'm going to race motorcycles, I need to do that now. And what happened was over the course of traveling the country and competing and all that, I met a lot of people, made a lot of connections. And as that began to wind down, there were opportunities for me to go into writing about motorcycles and racing and, jet skis and personal watercraft and that kind of thing.
You got another backer. You're
Fantastic. Thank you.
35-34, guys. Let's
Folks love motorcyclist.
Now this one is a for real buy one back one. This one is not funded yet, guys. You know American Bliss is coming. Rift Riders is coming. But you don't know that this one's coming until it hits that mark. We got 30% left to go on this one, so we need to throw a little love that way, guys. This sounds really cool, man. This sounds like the kind of stuff that that we need in the indie comics sphere.
Well, I just want to bring. I guess I would say the central premise is that I love seeing the success of any number of people that come at it from different backgrounds or different approaches. And that's the core mission of Rocket, focuses on those approaches and on those successes. Not just the success of the magazine, but for independent creators. And so the idea is to feature some of the guys that are name brand stars of the game. Art P. Bear in the previous issue, for instance, or a Billy Tucci in this issue, but also take some of that spotlight and spread it around to some guys that are a little more up and coming, that might achieve that sort of name brand recognition at some point, but right now we're on their way up. So that's kind of the core mission.
Yeah, dude, I love this. This is great. The pages look like what you're showing here, little segments. They look fantastic. These are pages, like 2 pages at a time, right?
Yeah, those are 2-page spreads. Yeah,
I mean, these look great. They look professional.
Yeah, loving the layout, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Again, 3D Robin gives me the little rockets and the backgrounds and all that, but I lay out the pages and, just real briefly, I got into the magazine business as a writer and, eventually, became editor-in-chief of a few different publications and so forth. And a lot of times I would inherit a magazine designer by the parent company or whatever that I didn't really think were capturing what motorcycles, that scene was all about. So I kind of jumped in myself and found that I really enjoy laying the thing out as much as I do anything
Teddy
else.
says, I love this kind of thing. Can't back until Monday. But I'll save the link. Save the link, Teddy.
Nice. Thank you, Teddy.
Save the link, definitely.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Don't just save the link, Teddy. Share it. You know what?
Yeah.
You'll be on tomorrow, probably in my chat on Nevermind the Furthermore. Be sure to share that link on there if Frog doesn't. Even if Frog does, I want to get more promotions on this guy because.
Yeah, we got Frog. We got Johnny freaking Cage.
Johnny freaking Cage
sharing links out today.
Yeah. Well,
Johnny freaking Cage. I still got to commission that guy.
You do.
Well, something.
Johnny, get in touch with me today.
Johnny Cage was he was actually in the first issue of Rocket in the Superfan art session, and I love some of the guys that are doing that, whether it's as a hobby or whether it's an aspiration. Do some great work, and it's gratifying also that a couple of the other guys that I had in there, Jay Potts and Keir Covington, have gone on to work on some fairly high-profile projects. Keir's doing King Cryptid for Alternative Comics and Peter Simeti. So, again, it's let's showcase some of this talent. And I don't think being in the magazine had anything to do with Keir Covington getting the work from Peter. I think it's his talent that did that. But at the same time, if I can make anybody aware of what they're doing,
Yeah, like I didn't know who he was, but it showcases him, and that's the thing. That's what we got to do. When they say a rising tide lifts all ships, and a shout out to Brian K. Morris, who actually because of him, Nick and I are together, and and just a great guy that has that kind of mentality, that thinks about others and tries to build them up. And again, you're always going to get people that come in and try to exploit those kind of personalities. But you got to find your tribe, and when you do, you got to build them up. You got to try to elevate people. And I mean, speaking of talent, Eric Hodson, man, I'm telling you, you've been I think a hidden talent for most people, especially in CG for too long. It's like you've done a short story for me that's going to continue, hopefully, called Eighth Day. I lettered that book, and it's in the back of one of the issues. And my wife did the copy edit on it, and she goes, who wrote this story here? Because she knew it wasn't my art. She goes, who wrote this story here? And I said, I did. She goes, huh, really? And I'm like, so I guess that means you liked it, huh? And so I mean, it's like,
going to say something nice, but not now.
That's like the non-verbal communication only a wife has.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
I'm like,
okay, I'm getting better. I know, I'm kind of getting there. But I got Eric on that book, and wow, I mean, the pages they look fantastic. I found a colorist that nobody knows about, and he did a great job on it. He'll get future pages from me for fact. But this cover is done by, this is done by Kanan White, the great Kanan White. What a tremendous talent he is. But he did my first trade paperback cover. And Eric was like, I would like to color his line art. And I'm like, sure. I had it colored by 3 or 4 different colors, paid for all of them. Eric's was by far the best. I had ran out of budget on that book. And so I was like, as soon as I went this, I was like, forget it. Eric, I would like you to color this cover. Went straight to him. And so obviously, as you can see, he's working on that, and he's already doing a fantastic job. It's already coming together and looking beautiful.
I need some notes from you because I don't know the other 2 characters' costume colors.
Oh, I'll throw those at you here in just a second. And very good work.
Yeah, if I may, I think Eric's a great example of what I'm trying to do, and I'd love to feature his work in an upcoming issue. What I'm saying is, in the nascent days of this thing we have, it sounds a little mafioso. This scene, I have trouble with the community word, so scene I think is what I've adopted. Yeah. But in 17, 18. It seemed like a guy could be aware of everything and everybody that was out there. And as it continues to grow and there's more and more talent, I only became aware of Eric's work in the past 6 months or so, and I'm sure he's been around a lot longer than that. So
a few years.
Yeah.
I've been around the block a few times.
Well, yeah, I've traced it backwards and I love your work, but
Thank you.
It is. There's an awful lot out there, more than I think.
It's finding an audience. There's been a couple tweets going around that have been really funny. Talking about being obscenely talented. And people are like, well, people are obscenely talented, but they're not making any money or whatever like that. Well, some people are obscenely talented. Like I said earlier, I'm don't know about obscenely talented. I'm more like lewdly adept.
It's a nice turn of phrase.
I'm working on obscenely talented.
You got the obscene part down just fine.
I do have the obscene
on the
part.
talent.
Right. Yeah. So so got that all taken care of, but it is a matter of finding an audience and getting good at marketing and building your network. I think that's the most difficult part. And people are really gun shy right now about bringing new people into their network because there's so many vultures out there, so many grifters. Schemes and scams abound, my friends. And you find out things that you never thought you would know about people. And it's like, who do you bring in? And so what happens is you get people that get very tribalistic, they get very cliquish. And so it's very difficult to get into those extra markets and things like that. So it takes time to develop those relationships. It takes time to develop, for people to find out who you are. I'm on book 9. I'm lettering book 9 today of my series. And there's people out there that have just now heard about art, haven't even heard about Hybrid yet, and have been around the edge of my circle for probably 2 years. And I'm like, I'm still trying to break into those.
It's such a good title.
Yeah, they've been edging. Yeah.
I mean, who in the room hasn't heard of Dinosaur Man?
Who's Dinosaur Man, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you've been doing this
That's what I
webcomic
mean
for, we talked about publishing and how there's a metamorphosis of publishing of the industry, and we're seeing that with Steve's Rocket magazine, and we're seeing that. How long have you been on Webtoons, Eric?
I started with Webtoons in 2017, late 2017, and posted pretty regularly for a little while. Then I got caught up with a bunch of work stuff, and I got the Piper book up and rolling. So I didn't do anything for a couple of years, and I pretty much lost my audience at the time. And so now I'm trying to gain it back. I'm trying to get to monthly. My goal right now is to get to monthly updates. But we got 10 chapters so far. It's also on Global Comics and Tapas. And, it's a slow burn. But eventually I hope that Dinosaur Man pays my bills. That's what we all want our IPs to outlive us and all that. So
yeah, it's fun working on other people's stuff for sure. But there's nothing quite like having your own baby out there making money and supporting you. I will tell you what that's like when that happens. Right now, my baby it's like a real child. In the sense that it takes a lot of money, and it always costs me. So I'm constantly spending money on this IP, and but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end because I get to do what I love, and I think that's what we're all here for. There's a passion. I think there are people today in comics that in 10 years won't be in comics. They won't be doing them. I don't know that the passion is there for them.
Well, that's the problem. Right now, we have the crowdfunding bubble. And I really do have concerns about the crowdfunding bubble popping to an extent. With, as the real world outside of what we do gets rougher.
Yeah.
And it gets scarier. We're in the realm of luxury. For some of us, it's this is what keeps me sane. Sniffing that print is like my drug. I get it for some of us, But we have to be flexible. And I think.
Welcome, Homer Glitch.
I called
Homer. This is a new name I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Hello, my dog.
The small just like when the pandemic hit, the small creators who take care of their community.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are the ones who are going to do better, because when it gets tight, you're not going to go to buy a new video at Walmart or whatever. You're not going to go do that. But if you have the choice, and I really hope the listeners and the people in the chat get this, the buy one back one is a great thing, but you can take that mentality with your if you're going to the store or you're going online, you're going on Amazon, you download something, you buy something, even from the big two or whatever. Cool. Back or buy something from the little guys. Because I'm always about shop small, always give a little back to the community. Because frankly, I don't have to watch major television right now. I rarely do. Because there's so many great streams from the creators I know. And I mean, the opportunity to talk to somebody like these two, especially.
Right. Let's take a second to look at our panel.
Yeah.
Guys, those that are watching, those that watch this in playback, look at who you got here. Okay. You've got someone that's creating a comic magazine. Okay. You got someone that does animation. Right. So there's your animator. You've got someone that you've got artists here, like, all right,
live art
artists,
live art. While we're talking, it's going on.
You've got someone that develops RPGs here. Okay, you've got Zim, who's been publishing comic books almost as long as I've been alive. No offense for the age. That's not an age thing. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to honor that. Yeah, no, I'm trying to honor
all
that.
Say, he made the first comic books that were on the sides of the brontosaurs. That's how they advertised it. It was like a
but seriously, I am trying to honor that.
That's Zim.
Yeah, he was right next to RT Bear doing the first comic book.
Yeah, I am trying to honor that and the fact that look at the wealth of knowledge that's there. Glenn has sat with the great one and learned, and he's look at how many books Glenn publishes. Glenn, how many books do you publish a year?
A year? Oh, I've only done this one this year, but in total I think I've got 11 up on Amazon.
Oh,
11 books. 11
yeah,
books,
all different genres. There's the Kirby book. There's a couple of books about JFK assassination. There's a book about the astronauts who didn't go to the moon. There's a humor book on there. There's a children's book that I've written and illustrated, and there's all kinds. I do all kinds of a travel book because I travel around the world. I've written a book about when I went to Easter Island.
Oh, nice.
A lot of things.
And you're doing that image. Yeah, let's show off this work. And I mean, speaking of artists, we're seeing, what they're doing. We know Zem can draw. We know, check. Glenn, show us that thing you're working on. Do you mind? Are you okay with that? The thing you showed us before the show started.
Just a second.
I've
created the cartoon character called Hatch that you guys know about, but this is one of the pages that I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, look at that, man. Awesome.
It's simply one of the best traditional artists I've ever seen, especially with color.
Wow.
With color. I mean, think about it. I mean, most comic book traditional artists, what they do is they scan their line art and they send off the colors to somebody to do that on a computer. And Glenn does that with his hands, guys. That's on board.
On board.
He finger paints that.
Not quite.
Sometimes using his nose.
I do put the color test on the side though.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And I also write when I penciled it, when I inked it, and when I colored it. So it's all the information you need is there.
That is, I mean.
Well, that won't be printed, obviously.
Clearly, you've been doing that a while, but great work, man. I mean, just look at what we've got here. Nick, how many books do you have up on Amazon?
Oh God, I want to say 9. My problem is I have 3 more that I want out this year, so I'm a little scattered. But I've got 4 books on, 3 books on Western martial arts. No, 4. Yeah, 3. 3 published. The Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, because I've been teaching people to sword fight for 20 years now. I have the core rule book for
welcome channel member Cameron Payne.
Thank you, channel members. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, channel members.
2 novellas in that series. I have a few other games I've published, and coming out by the end of the year, possibly the end of the month. I have a horror anthology, an art and like a prompt book where I've taken the art from prompts and I've written stories on them. That's coming out, and then my 4th book, which will be just rediving into how to fence with a rapier. And then I have a whole bunch of other games because I've got this little thing called Hybrids, the Sons of God, the RPG that the quick play out is available on Luke Stone's site. And my end of that book is done. So I know that's out there. My end of something I did for Telepathic Bunny called Writer's Rule. I designed a game that's going to be a game changer there. And I did a game, took the mechanics from Hybrids and made a wrestle brawler for Joe D. McVie.
You know what? I've actually been looking for somebody to lay out the book for me so I don't have to do it all myself. And I just realized we got Steve here. Maybe I can commission Steve.
Yeah.
You know,
you certainly you can. I have done a pre-press for I don't know, probably 3 dozen books at this point that have been offered, and sure, not only can you, but anybody that wants to slide up in my DMs and consult me for editing services, pre-press design. I wished you would. Yeah,
I've already commissioned Pedro.
Yeah.
Pedro is working on a sweet animation, and we're bringing another guy that does tremendous amounts of voices, doing voiceovers in the.
Hey, Luke, I want to give you guys a glimpse of my life before CG.
Sure, let's do it.
It's my reel from 2019, and this was what was edging me close into suicide. because it was just so frustrating. So I don't know. I just wanted you to see, like, there's a little CGI, some like classical animation and whatever.
Sure.
So I'm sharing that there.
I'm gonna add that to the stream.
So, Matty, you raised in a barn, shut the door. The other primitives.
I need more of that machete guy in my life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't be quiet anymore. I tried, but.
So yeah, guys, this was all like rush work done by committee. Nightmare every project. I don't know, like I just saw it there. I was like, yeah. So yeah, CG changed my life, man. Right now, I'm working at the pace I'm comfortable working with, and I'm working with awesome IPs. So yeah, man, I'm eternally grateful to all you guys who are giving me the opportunity to do this. I mean, what I can do for you on your campaigns and do then putting books out. It's just a new pace, and I will be forever grateful. Like I'm not afraid of the bubble bursting, because when the bubble bursts, the people who are not supposed to be here are going to go.
Exactly.
Right. So, dude,
that's what I was looking. I hate to say it, I'm looking forward to that. Because when because there's a rush of people, and it's gonna be worse coming in for that Eric July. I can make money. All I have to do is crank out, a comic that looks even okay, and I can make all that money, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
well, Luke was talking earlier about how special it is to be doing your thing, and I completely agree with that. At the same time, I've worked on a lot of books for a wide variety of big name creators to guys that are just up and coming, and I much like to echo what Pedro's saying, I put every amount of effort into anything that my name is going to go on. There's no less attention to detail for one of the newer guys than there is for something that I do for one of the bigger guys, because it's their work, but it's also ultimately a reflection of my work. So
I love that. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to put your best in every. Pardon me. I'm doing character designs right now, and I can't show them because I don't have the ability. I don't have the freedom to do that. But I'm putting every bit of as much effort into them as I do my own character designs. I'm like, okay, this needs to be cool. I'm working on the details, trying to make it to where it's like when you see that character, you're like, ooh, I like that. I want to know more. That kind of thing. I try to make it as interesting as I can. And I did the same thing with Chrome Dog. I work on that book with Agent Zero, Justin Sweet, and I it's not mine, but I put as much care into it as I do anything else. Because that's what I was taught, and that's what I've noticed from all you guys. Pedro, that animation was sick, man. That's awesome. Like
but the thing is, like, all the memories I have from those times, it's horrible.
Right? Yeah.
Like you get from one client, and then the associate will call you and completely change everything. You have 2 weeks to do everything. Like you told me, Pedro, you're fast. Like that was made out of necessity, and people who don't know what they're asking for.
Yeah.
So I just created this like shorthand to animate faster, and now, dude, it's making my life easier. So I see it as a gym.
Dude, you're cutting these scenes together like nobody's business. They're coming together so fast, and so
that came out of pain.
Glenn, what am I looking at?
Most good art does.
Yeah, this is my wife works in ceramics, and my cartoon character Hatch, she's made a 9-inch model of him. He's in the comic. That's when I showed you those Easter Island heads. That's part of the comic of Hatch, which and this is going to be up on the Indiegogo, perhaps.
Oh, that's a perk.
It's very cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the first time. Yeah, first one.
So she did this by hand, huh?
Yep.
I've been bugging him to get that 3D scanned, because what he needs to do is get that 3D scanned and then sell the STL files.
Yeah.
And-
Here's what you do. Yeah, you take a picture of that from every angle.
Yeah.
And you give that to I got a 3D modeler that I've been using for all of my stuff, and I mean my guy's amazing. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. The dude is, and he's really reasonable. He did. Let me see. He did this. He did that for me.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Yeah,
Was
I mean the
that
guy is
Daniel?
tremendous.
Oh yeah, dude. Wow.
Yeah, so he does that.
Nice.
He does all my 3D models. He's actually working on chlorine right now, getting
What
her
is he
done.
using? Like ZBrush, Mudbox? Or are you aware?
I don't know. He's a freaking genius. That's what he uses. I think he uses
cool.
ZBrush.
It's not
That's a-
3D, I'll tell you that.
That's such a fascinating process. You know, I was fortunate enough. I'd hang out via Skype with 3D Robin for hours every week. And when he was doing the Cyberfrog and the Salamandroid figures, you know, I was just watching him do it. And it was like watching Saturday morning cartoons. It was just fascinating.
Yeah. Now there's a language barrier with this guy, but for the more difficult things, he has somebody come on and help translate a little bit for the 3D
Like,
printing
I
stuff.
can 3D model, but like sculpting, 3D sculpting, like it's something I don't want to learn more things.
I mean, clearly, I mean, look at this guy. This guy's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
I mean
fantastic.
that's the thing with animation. Like to get to a certain quality level, you need specialists,
Yeah.
and that just ramps up the prices of everything.
Yeah,
like
but-
right now, I'm working within the limits of my limitation. But if I enhance the team, I mean the prices will go up. But dude, there's just
I
no
lost
limit
money
to
on
what
another
can be
3D
done.
on another 3D modeler because I mean, someone said, "Hey, check this guy out. He's really good," or whatever, and he wound up taking money and not
leaving
producing
and failing?
anything. And then I there was other 3 models that I paid that they just produced really subpar work, and this guy comes in and just kills it
Destroys
every
it, yeah.
time. Every time, the full model I've shared with that. I'm actually putting together the pieces today with, a little bit of molding cement to get all the fit right on stuff, and put the pieces that are going to be painted together so that they can ship. And so I'm actually going to have a full 3D model with the basis of that trash man with the arms closed, but with his standing on a platform. And so that's going to be available in this next campaign. I think I'm only going to have 2 available because they take forever to put together, and they're very expensive. But but they're cool. They're very cool. Diehard fans will love them. And so I'm trying to have one ready before I launch next week. And so I'm trying to work on that this week, nights and evenings, do my nights and stuff so I can do day job stuff, which is work for other people right now. So I've got a number of clients that I'm doing work for, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But I am all about hiring people and bringing people into the circle to use that are good at what they do. And it's all about that quality and the care of the project. That care is vital. And so this is very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Glenn. That's neat.
Thanks for showing it. The sad thing about it is that you can't see them there because he's standing up, but he's even got the treads of his boots on.
Wow.
It's really fantastic. But he's obviously standing up.
Yeah.
It's
guys,
not looking forward to doing anything.
I mean, the easy thing about this whole situation is that as a hired gun, I can say these IPs are really easy to love. You know what I mean? Like you can put passion into a project. But I'm working on hybrids. I'm like, dude, I want to read this coming so bad. And dude, I'm pumping scenes because it's not even. It doesn't feel like a job, man. I'm just having fun. Like I'm watching pretty pictures and making them move.
I get that because when he came to me for the game, the quick play, I think I banged that out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
I barely slept. I couldn't. I literally just grabbed my 2 pens because my hands weren't working, and for 2 weeks, for like 8 hours a day, I was drumsticking my way, trying to to 8 hours, while doing a full day in the middle, just to bang it out because it's a passion project. And that's the one thing you won't find in mainstream. You can tell there's no love. That's why
I'm not trying to sound arrogant here, but for the sake of doing that, Hybrids is a great series, and if you're not reading it, I don't know what's wrong.
Hey,
with
toot your own
Like it's
horn.
good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I mean,
You know,
I
Keanu
liked
has
it,
something
yeah.
to say about comics, and
Yeah,
he's got
comics are
hybrids in
awesome.
mind when he says.
But I'll tell you what, we've accomplished a lot today. We are at 2 hours, 31 minutes, 32, almost 32 minutes. I think it's time for us to close down our stream so we can get busy making awesome and being awesome today. There's so much awesome that needs to happen today, and so I think it's time that we go. We're not like George Costanza.
If you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
We're better than that. We're better than that, aren't we?
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Oh my God.
We're awesome, guys. We're awesome.
I love when we get somebody who's a little more together, and the end of your show always breaks somebody.
Does,
if you're not prepared for
Gail, if you're not prepared for Gail.
Dude, I'm never prepared for Gail.
People freak out.
Emotional damage.
Just freak out, man.
Dude, if somebody tries to congratulate me like that, like, yeah, he's getting a backpack to the face.
Right.
Dude, what the
Yay! Just think about what you've accomplished. Like what?
She got me to stop reading Red Sonja pretty quickly.
I mean, what a freaking joke. Who does? I mean, who does? Like that is like how's. Like that's like children. I mean, children. That's what you do with little kids.
Yeah, it's
not
kindergarten
adults.
teacher stuff. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought that woman was actually a kindergarten teacher. And
No. She was a big shot in the comics industry. And here's the deal: it's people like that running things that's the reason why CG and why Gamergate and why the Libertarian Party has grown. By the way, we have 2 Libertarian candidates on the ballot here in Jacksonville, in Florida this year.
Go
and I'm
on
like,
higher.
yes. I'm like, yes. Because of Jack Tards at the top doing stupid.
Your actions have consequences. When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
It's true. It's true. It really is. But hey, let's go around, tell everybody where they can find you, and any last words that you would like to leave the crowd with. And of course, go and back American Bliss and Rocket number 2.
Yeah.
Get these things going. Definitely back Rocket. We want to see this thing happen. And guess what? You want to see it happen because you might be featured in the future. You may not be featured in this magazine, but guess what? This is a thing that needs to be a regular. We need to see these come out monthly or bi-monthly. That's my opinion. So that people can get these things. Let's make it happen. Everybody back Rocket. Get over there and do your due diligence. Do your duty as a comic fan.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I was just laughing because Jody McPhee said we need a Danny DeVito moment, and he just doesn't know how funny that is.
How funny
I'm
that
the
is.
trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
We love Danny DeVito.
Yeah, dude.
Danny DeVito is one of our favorites.
He's my Wolverine, man.
I'm telling you. When Danny DeVito dies, do not talk to me that day. I will visit. I will cry. I will be so sad.
You know what?
He's one of my favorite people.
If you have to do that, that's fine. But stop and go. What would Danny DeVito do? So, like, go to a restaurant and just take half of somebody's sandwich, and just be like, say something.
Fly that little flag that looks like a Nazi flag.
No, Botsu, no.
It's too far away. My Danny DeVito pillow is here in my office. I still got it. Danny DeVito's awesome. Steve, tell them where they can find you, buddy.
I'm the real Steve Dye on Twitter. The DMs are open. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I would appreciate everybody if they can, and if they want to support Rocket, because I'd certainly like to do more of them. And also, if you are a creator and you're putting your book together in Adobe Acrobat, that's not just let me help you. Let me help you present. You put so much time and effort into the art, the writing, the colors, the production, and all of that. And I see a lot of books that Yeah, the art's great. The writing's great. They probably could use a generous copy edit. I'm in for that as well. A lot of years experience making sure that we don't put an apostrophe before every S just because it's there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll make sure that all of your effort that you've put into the production of the pages is compiled properly to make it look like a truly professional, albeit independent effort.
So cool.
Eric.
Yes. Well, you can follow me at Dreaded Dinosaur on Twitter, Instagram. It'll get you to the Facebook page as well. I have my own website, erichotzen.com. You can order some prints. I do a lot of wrestling art if you're into that. And please, if you're on Webtoon or Global Comics, subscribe to the Dreaded Dinosaur Man. That is my baby, my passion project. And thank you for supporting American Bliss and Genuine Comics. And yeah, I think that's it.
Pedro.
Hey, Pedro Ang here. You can find me at the Twitters at Angila. If you need any animation services, call me. But there's a line now because I'm doing so good.
A line.
And
Isn't it great when there's a line?
Yeah, dude. And yeah, man, I'm living my dream. This is the life I want. So, dude, come at me with your projects, man, and I'll make you a sweet trailer.
All right. Zem.
Randy Zimmerman. I'm EIC of Arrow Comics. I podcast 3 times a week over at the Indie Comics Network. I do the Zimcast at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays. That's Eastern Standard Time. On Friday mornings at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, I do Comics by Night that Mr. Fleming here is a regular on, where we talk about the inner workings of comics and how to put it together. That's 5 a.m. on the Indie Comics Network over on YouTube and indiecomicsnetwork.com. Also on Sunday mornings, I do a program that I'm especially proud of called the Sunday Funnies. That's at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, again, where we talk about the comics and the properties that we love, the books that have inspired us to do what we do now. And it's a program that's very close to my heart, where we get to talk about the stuff that we grew up with, the sheer inspiration, greatness that's out there in sequential art. And other than that,
great show.
Look forward to Arrow Comics a lot more in 2023. Go to that Rift Riders campaign over on Indiegogo and take a look at that Arrow Comics tier. I've got a few books on there that I've written and drawn on that I am especially proud of, that I would like everyone, if they can, to be able to read them.
Yeah,
and
great shows as well. Highly recommended. A lot of insight into the process behind the books.
Thanks so much. In the meantime, you can always contact me at the Zimcast at gmail.com. You can look for me on Facebook. You can try to find me over at Twitter, but I'm not over there very often. So.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Glenn.
Yeah, I'm a writer and artist and publisher, like it says there. If you want my latest offering for the comics community, this is my book about when I went to see Jack Kirby at his home a couple of times in the late 80s and early 90s. With this, you also get a DVD of me talking with him in his studio. Randy's already got his.
Yeah,
of course. You can get a few problems there wasn't there? You can get this from me. You can go to Amazon and get all my other books about various science fiction, as I discussed earlier. And you get Hatch #1, which is on Amazon. #2 is about to hit Indiegogo. And I also publish Comics Unlimited, for which I'm waiting for this guy here down below.
I'm not the last one again, am I?
Yeah, looking like it. Yeah, this is a 100-page magazine I produce every quarter about comics.
Yeah.
So check that out if you want. That's on Amazon as well. If you want to get in touch with me, you can see me on Facebook, or you can contact me on Comics Unlimited Magazine at gmail.com.
Awesome. Nick.
Okay, I'm Nick Tucker, freelance author, artist, game designer, and retired paranormal consultant. You can find me, obviously, here every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. as bro host to my man Luke. My books are available through Amazon, where you can find sword manuals, game books. I've got I think 3 different games up right now through Amazon. I have an app with my buddy Joe Bachman at JB Tech Apps, bit.ly/JB Tech Apps.
Bit.ly.
And My art is over on deviantart.com/NickT. I've been there for 18 years. In my other channel, the Nicholas Tucker channel, I host Nevermind the Furthermore, which is a lot like this. We get a bunch of mostly authors, but other creatives together. We promote, we talk about the challenges of the industry, fighting imposter syndrome. Basically, it's a part of the memory of the Rising Tide project that Brian K. Morris put up. So I've been doing that. Actually, tomorrow will be my 50th episode of doing that.
Wow.
And
Congrats, man.
also tomorrow at night will be the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream where we talk about how to sword fighting in media, weapons training of different styles, East versus West, all that fun. And you can find that on the Historical Fencing Guild YouTube. But all my links are at the very humbly put together www.nicholastalker.com, and you can find all my links there.
Nick, I have a very dumb question.
Feel free.
Yeah, your impressions on the Flying Guillotine.
My what did you say?
The
Your
Flying
impression.
Guillotine. Have you seen that movie? It's a kung fu movie. It's like they throw a basket that falls on people's heads and chops their heads off.
I think I have seen that. Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Oh my. I'm sorry, you just had to like drop that. That was a core memory unlock. I also love B and C below grade campy movies. So,
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Shaw Brothers cinema. So I see a lot of silly weapons.
I love all those Shaw Brothers. I love the Criterion collection of the classic kung fu movies too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the worse the kung fu movie, the better it is. So, like the pre-Wire Fu, where the only way they could do the jumps is record it and then play it backwards, and the guy with Secret Kung Fu and the Dragon's Infernal Revenge that's one of my favorite movies of all time. You should be able to find it at your local dollar store.
That's a show. Just going through the Shaw Brothers catalog, just movie after movie of silly techniques. When they ran out of like the 5 schools, they just came up with their own schools, like butterfly kung fu,
the Kung Fu Hustle.
No, Kung Fu Hustle is actually a parody of that time, but this were like serious like action movies. You're supposed to go like and dude,
supposed to go on.
No, like
they successfully failed so hard that they're loved today. Yeah,
dude.
Guys, so also remind everyone to check out Gemini Mailers. They've got a lot of supplies over there. Use code NERD10 for 10% off of your orders. It is a fantastic way for you to save some money. I'm Luke Stone. I'm a salty artist. Clearly, I'm salty. Be sure to check out my website, lukestonestudios.com. I've got a ton of things over there. You can buy comics. Everything is up on the store now and is ready to ship. And if you buy it today, it ships today. So that's what we're doing. So you have to check that out. Oh, there's a fish. And check that out. We've also got Hybrids, the Killing Field Part 4. It's going to be the complete saga for the Killing Field, plus catch up for the trade paperback of the old one. So you can get, all kinds of stuff with there. Sign up for that. We'll have special discount stuff. So we'll be going live hopefully next Tuesday. That is the plan anyway. So it may get delayed just a little bit, but our plan is for next Tuesday. So we'll have a really cool trailer from Pedro Ang.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome, man. It is awesome. The voiceover's cool.
Bits and pieces. Y'all don't know.
So cool.
Part of the best part and the worst part of my situation is I know what's in the comics. I get to see the stuff Pedro's working on. I get to see all this cool stuff. It's like, shut up! I can't tell anybody about it.
You get to see. That's the hard part. Is getting to know all the inside stuff.
So what Glenn, whom I love, does is every so often he's like, now you can't tell anybody this. But what do you think of this? It's like, it's so cool. So I know stuff is coming there. Stuff is coming there. I have stuff coming out. It's just amazing, folks.
Yeah, man. 2022, end of it. 2023 is going to be an amazing year. Just
yeah.
wait till you see what's coming from Arrow Comics. So definitely head over to Rift Riders and get that Arrow Comics #1s bundle, because #2s are coming out, man. I mean, it's happening. We're going to have 1s, 2s. We're going to have art books coming out next year. The RPGs. Lockdown Games is gonna hit next year. Man, I'm telling you. Right now, I love that they keep screwing up and people keep saying don't go watch their movies because people are like, they want something good. And we're producing it for them. Yeah,
that's more time and money I can invest in creating
Thank
fun
you
stuff.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Look, I can get my hand to curl a little bit now.
Yeah, go you.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of
Oh,
work.
that's huge.
Yeah, but we're getting there. All right, well, guys, remember, try to build up more in this industry than you tear down. Too many people are tearing down. Go out and create something today, okay? Be awesome, and don't be sad for being awesome. When you're awesome, somebody's going to get rubbed the wrong way. Let those crybabies rot in their diapers, man. You go be awesome. You cannot worry about other people. You know, if you worry about getting canceled all the time, you're never going to get anything done. You'll be too busy apologizing. Go out there and make something awesome that people want.
What you have to remember is that when you create something when you show somebody something you've done, you're showing them something they haven't done, and they don't like it.
Yep.
They don't like it. Some people.
Yeah.
Some people. Yeah.
It's just some people. And other people love it. Find the people that love it. Find the people that are going to support you, and leave the wood pile higher than you find it. When you leave, make sure it's better than when you got there. Okay, that was my rule when I was a kid. My wife and I have taught that to our kids. That if we go to a hotel, we leave it better than we find it. If we go somewhere, someone's house, we leave it better than we find it. Leave the wood pile higher than you find it, folks. And please,
Let's be careful out.
be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7 on the corner of 4th and Main. Two Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 218 W's a GTA, several miscellaneous crimes.